Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. The fight starts now! Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
Afternoon, everybody. It is fight night in Sheffield, a stat card coming up live on DAZN. 11 fights on the bill, topped by an all-Sheffield clash for the £140 British title between Dalton Smith and Sam O'Mays. And our chief support also at £140, the rematch between former two-weight world champion Erica Farias, who came out on top against novice pro Sandy Ryan in an extremely close fight about 5 months ago. They run it back near the top of the card. Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher returns from injury, and Jordan Thompson has a big step up against a very tough fighter in Czech Republic's Vasil Dutsar. Plenty of action further down the card too. It all starts right here on Before the Bell. Chris Lloyd alongside Jordan Gill and Sky Nicholson. Here they are. Give them a wave, guys. We'll be calling the action over the next couple of hours or so. 5 fights coming up on Before the Bell. And without further ado, we're going to get the action underway. Kieran Conway in a tune-up fight before a big one against Amo Williams, 17th of September in Las Vegas on the Canelo Triple G3 undercard. He's up against Gregory Trenel from France. So without further ado, let's head over to David Diamante and get the first fighters tonight into the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Sheffield, England. We are live on DAZN for a big night of boxing action. And we begin tonight with an 8-round super middleweight contest. Set to make his ring walk, please welcome the crazy Frenchy, Gregory Trenel.
Well, Gregory Trenel arrived at the weigh-in looking a bit more like a local magician than a fighter on tonight's bill, but he does pride himself on being a bit out there. He brings good energy, as you can see, and he's equipped himself pretty well against some decent names the last couple of years. He's what you would describe as, I guess here, a notch below national title level, not enough to be a threat to those with genuine talent and ambition at a higher level, but he's very capable, and in between falling short against those kind of fighters, he's racked up wins against lower level opposition. And the 31-year-old has got a very respectable record of 16, 8 and 2. And Jordan, I guess for Kieran Conway, if you're going to have a tune-up 5 weeks out from a big fight, this is the kind of opponent you needed.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's important. After a little layoff, you need to get the cobwebs off. I think Kieran Conway's been injured. He's moving up in weight, so he wants to test himself out. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Really looking forward to that Amo Williams fight. Great fight between two fighters that, you know, at different stages of their career, but both similar ages.
Entering the arena, please welcome Kieran Two-Class Conway.
Well, Kieran Conway came out of obscurity about 4 years ago, taking a fight with Ted Cheeseman on something like a week's notice, and he'd been active leading into the contest, pushed into a very close draw down in London, and since then he hasn't turned down fights, and he's been very, very good at domestic level indeed. He fell short against Suleiman Sissoko after a camp that was far from ideal in preparation, but he's learnt from that, had visa problems on the way into America as well, but his camp has been far, far better, and he was vocal in diminishing the hype around Austin Amo Williams and said he's going to put in the performance of his career on the 17th of September, but he's not going to overlook Gregory Trenel here, and all his focus, regardless of September 17th, is on the task at hand here in Sheffield tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Utility Arena here in Sheffield, England. We are live on DAZN for a big night of boxing action. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, FCI Markets, and JD Sports. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Mr. Robin Smith. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Fleetwood, scoring A-star referee, Mr. Steve Gray. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the white, red, and blue. He scaled 11 stone, 12 pounds at 9 ounces. His professional record, 16 victories, 8 defeats, 2 draws, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Danville, France. Please welcome Gregory, the crazy Frenchie Trenel. And his opponent across the ring, boxing out of the blue corner. He wears the white trunks with the black trim. He scaled 11 stone, 13 pounds, 6 ounces. His professional record, 17 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Northampton, please welcome the former WBA Intercontinental Super Welterweight Champion, Kieran, to class Conway.
Okay, boys, have a cold break, take a step back. No punches around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Stretch them up. Good luck, lads.
And welcome to all of you just joining the stream here on Before the Bell. Chris Lloyd with Jordan Gill and Sky Nicholson alongside me at the commentary desk.
6 round, round 1.
Both of these fighters kicking us off here in Sheffield have got their next opponents booked in. Gregory Trenel in the colours of the tricolour, and France is heading to Brampton in Ontario, Canada to face one of Tyler Buxton's fighters, Shaquille Finn, on September 10th. And 7 days later, Kieran Conway will be lacing them up for the second slot on a Canelo undercard in Las Vegas. It's a tough old game, but it has got its perks. And the upside for Conway, if he can put it all together against Williams stateside, could be very big indeed. But for now, they've got each other to deal with. Conway at centre ring, and of course, Jordan will be a very strong favourite to deal with Trenel pretty comfortably here.
I mean, he should be, and he's looking good so far. Lovely jab, took some sharp counters already. That jab's beautiful. Kieran Conway was a massive 154 pounder. I'm not sure how he made it. He's up at, was it 167 today? I think the Ammo Williams fight is at 160, so it will settle into a big middleweight. I don't know how he made light middle, but
yeah, he won't have rehydrated much overnight because, of course, he's got eyes on losing the last 8 pounds, and there isn't a great deal of fat on him as it is at 168. And well, I spoke to him in the gym a couple of nights ago, the night before the weigh-in, and he said, it's not going to be the easiest thing now to get down to 160, let alone 154. The body just suddenly expands as you kind of hit your mid-20s, but he looks physical, strong, and we've seen plenty of him over these last 3 or 4 years to know that if there's ever a time he can upset the apple cart against Ammo Williams, he'll be a slight favourite in that fight. It will be in these next 4 or 5 weeks.
I would have thought so. I was really impressed with him. I was ringside when he boxed James Metcalf. Metcalf since had a really good win against Kerman Laraga out in Spain, so he's going through the gears now. He boxed to orders that night in Liverpool against James Metcalf.
Made comfortable work of it, didn't he? And as you mentioned, JJ Metcalf linking up with Joe McNally and the team for Liverpool, looking at a renewed fighter since then himself. Brilliant win in a brilliant fight against Kerman Leharaga, all happening at 154. But Conway now looking to get in the mix at 160 pounds. Rocking the head back of the Frenchman on the jab. He's quite square, Trenel. Chopping right hand.
Trenel's a tough man, but he's struggling already, taking clean shots from Conway. Shout out to the Little Socks as well. Can't look past that. Them little socks are
Angling for a sponsorship.
yeah.
Me.
It's a good look.
Conway just puts the hands together. Trenel just rocking back onto the ropes at the end of the first round. Of course, with that far away from the city of Birmingham, where the Commonwealth Games are currently taking place. And 4 years ago, Sky Nicholson, you came away with a gold medal, bringing back some memories. I know your friend Kay Scott has made her way into another final again. That must have been good for you to see today.
Yeah, it's been a great a week actually, watching the boxing up in Birmingham, and very happy. We've got 5 medals for Australia, and 3 of them have actually turned it into final for tomorrow, and we've got 2 more fighting tonight to try and get in the final. So no, the team's doing amazing.
So you're going to get out here as soon as you can, get the telly on and support the team.
Yeah, I'm actually heading to Birmingham tomorrow to watch them live.
Amazing.
So very excited.
Amazing. Good luck to all of them. Some great performances today as well. No doubt some stars of the future too.
10 seconds, focus. Seconds out, round 2.
So this one scheduled for 8 rounds, of course, at the super middleweight division. And I'm sure a few of you have seen Gregory Trenel in the southpaw start. It's not natural for him. But of course, Amma Williams, he's not a direct southpaw. Trenel just kind of switch a little bit. But they had 3 or 4 southpaw fighters, pure southpaw fighters, lined up to drop through. But this is really just about trying to get the wheels oiled for Conway, get him sharp. As I mentioned, took that Cheeseman fight 4 years ago off the back of a 3-rounder in one of these kind of boxer series type events. And he feels like he operates best when he's had a little tune-up fight 4 or 5 weeks before a big one. And I guess you've got to do what's good for you, haven't you?
I think so. Activity is key, and Kieran Conway's got to get the rounds in tonight. He's got 8 rounds, so he doesn't have to rush. He can really take his time, work on the stuff that he has been in the gym. He's picking lovely counters out. The jab's been nice tonight. And again.
Trenel's got enough about him to give you the rounds without being a particular danger. He took Sergio Garcia into the 6th round a few years ago. Completed 6 against Idris Virgo as well. He was a cruiser. He was one of Edgar Belanga's first 16 one-round knockout victims, and staggeringly, Belanga's gone, I think, the distance, 8 and 3 consecutive 10-rounders in his last 4. It's a strange sport at times. I don't know how good stylistically he is for Amma Williams, but Conway will know, and they have been doing their research and studying him to the nth degree. And he was pretty vocal at the press conference this week. He said, I believe he's a hype job, and they know the danger of Amma Williams will be early in that contest. He's very fast twitch, covers the ground quickly, he's explosive too. And Conway's under no illusions. He may have to weather a storm or 2 in the first 4 or 5, but if he can get him deep into fights where Williams hasn't been, but Conway has, against some good opposition, imagine that he's got the skill set and the experience at this point to make life difficult for the American.
That's the thing. Conway's got the experience now. He's been in them hard fights. He's gone into the ring where he's been the underdog. He's been up against it. He's really going for the gears here now.
He is. Arcing right, he just rocked Trenel back onto the ropes, and he put his hands together well behind it. 40 seconds to go in the second round here.
It's a big right hand from Conway. Very well scored.
Inching into range, and I think Trenel was hurt in that exchange. Just rips one to the body under the elbows, and the Frenchman tries to fire back, but he's losing the range war here. Shorter levers, slower feet of Conway, and he's having his way with him so far.
Like these body shots that Conway's been picking out. Right up to the body, left up to the body. All behind a lovely jab.
That was the right hand that just pushed Trenel back onto the ropes. And the follow-up was good, but he is tough and solid, the Frenchman. That was why he was chosen here. They didn't want someone they could just blow out early. Needed to get some rounds in and get sharp, and he knows too the atmosphere will be a completely different thing in the States in about 5 weeks' time, but He's used to that. Box on that Canelo Saunders undercard in front of, well, the better part of 65,000 by the time he was in the ring. And he was outboxed by Sissoko for large early portions of the contest, but he clipped him, which caused a bit of damage to the eye of Sissoko, and he dropped in the 9th round. But given Conway's preparations, he hadn't really been able to spar properly with injury. He didn't have the gears to go through and to press him in that moment that was so crucial, and he knows that he can't afford to miss an opportunity like that again, and that is really what you're seeing here, all preparation part of a much bigger opportunity that could change his fortunes. He's starting to go through the gears here against Gregory. Trenel's boxed up into the corner, trying to fire back as he always does. But in the midst of it, he is likely to get tagged and hurt. Steve Gray in between them. He'll be refereeing some of the fights a little bit later on tonight as well. One of the best in the game as Trenel just tries to walk Conway down, push him onto the back foot. Stiff right hand from Kieran Conway.
He's so square on Trenel. It's like Conway can't miss with that right hand. Like you said, to fight to a split decision against Sissoko, who's clearly world class. I think it's a matter of time before Sissoko wins a world title. To fight with poor preparation to a split decision shows his level. He'll be relishing that opportunity against Samo in a couple of weeks. Lovely uppercut.
Conway's just hitting him at will now.
Yeah, becoming a test of Gregory Trenel's durability, which we know is good. His limitations are being pretty thoroughly exposed. Here is again just tries to walk himself into some space but finds the corner. Still over a minute to go. As Conway just measuring with that jab.
Those body shots are starting to take their toll as well.
Yeah, he really slowed, isn't he, the last couple of minutes, and now Conway has got free rein of him as Trenel again just marauding forward. Conway slipping, dipping, avoiding these shots, and Eddie Hearn's watching ringside. I just wonder what he'll be making of his man's chances against another fighter under his promotional banner in Amo Williams. Great that he can make these kind of transatlantic matchups at this level. Rare to see in the sport of boxing.
Nice body shot waiting there from Conway. Starting to go through the gears here now. The first couple of rounds he come out, sort of had a look, took his time, but now this round, a little bit more sense of urgency. He's looking like, you know what, he's had enough, I want to get him out, and I think he might in the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, I think the body language of Trenel, just see it on the face. He's starting to feel it, and he just winced and touched the left side of his body, and Conway went after it straight away.
Looking a little bit worse for wear here.
He is. Again, Conway just working off that jab. Fizzes a right hand under the elbow again. Trenel a little short with a jab. Always game, always brings the fight, and well, he's not quite halfway yet because this one's scheduled for 8 rounds, but as you said, I'm not convinced that it's going to go that far. Conway has been sparring a number of southpaws in preparation. 12-0 CJ challenger from Leicester, won the Midlands area title at 154 a couple of years ago. Nice boxer he is. Measurement of distance, timing and shot selection. Stablemate of Leon Woodstock. Tyler Denny as well, BCB, Errol's gym. John Doherty as well at Steel City Gym too. Big, strong southpaw he is. A good preparation. And he's in full control here in Sheffield.
10 seconds, corners.
We've got a couple of others from the Steel City Gym on the bill tonight. Junaid Bostan and Nico Leivars, stablemates of Dalton Smith, and hopefuls to be part of the understudy cast if he is victorious tonight and he is to bring big fight nights back to Sheffield. They all want their place on those bills down the line too. Their opportunities to impress in front of Eddie Hearn, who's sat ringside, as Conway fizzes a couple of shots to the body. Just gets caught a little tool there. A left hook counter from Trenel, who's tucking up and, well, starting to look like he's almost in complete survival mode at this stage. And still a long way to go for him.
Step back.
Just getting to that point in the fight where I think if he does go 8 rounds, Gregory Trenel, he will live up to the name Crazy Frenchman. He's looking a little bit worse away here.
Yeah, hard to see how he's going to last that. Even the next 2 minutes looking slightly unlikely, but it's kind of the demeanour that he does have against some of the top guys. He looks a bit beaten and forlorn, but somehow seems to hang in there. Keeps firing back, keeps finding ways to see the rounds out. Conway here too, Jordan, really, he looks as you expect to see him in sparring at 168, doesn't he? Just not full sharpness, not full speed. He's certainly nowhere near 4th or 5th gear.
100%. I think he's comfortable, and you know, if you walked into the gym on any given day, I'm sure that's what you could see in the gym. Him sparring, going through the gears, doing what he does, jab, nice body punching, picking the counters out. I'd like to see him go through the gears a little bit with the angles. I'd like to, you know, see him touch with a jab, shift the angle, and then open up a gap. I think that's how we get someone like the Crazy Frenchie out. But the question is, does he want to get him out? Does he want to get the 8 rounds in? I think, you know, it might be the case for that.
Step back, Gregory.
Doing just enough to keep him in there. Big right hook to the body.
Yeah, just trying to create an angle off the ropes. Trenel just pressing him forward, trying to almost a little safer. The closer he is, the Frenchman at this stage of the contest, take the leverage of Conway away, give himself a breather in the process. Steve Gray just brings him back to centering again, and normal service resumes. Uppercut off the jab.
Ripping and hooks into the body.
Yeah, thumping audibly above our commentary position here at the Sheffield Arena. Big night ahead on DAZN, coming up at 7 o'clock local time. Campbell Hatton will be opening the show, the 8th contest of his career since turning over last year. Against Dufek in the Czech Republic. And we look at some of the action from the last round, and Kieran Conway starting to just apply a sensible amount of pressure. Just stuck a right hand, arced it around the side of the guard there. Trenel felt that, didn't he?
100%. I think he's been a lot of these shots. He's a very tough man for sure. I wonder what they're saying to him in the corner.
10 seconds, boys. Seconds out, round 5.
Best looking corner team in the business, James Conway told me, him, Alex Legravel. It's their opinion, I should add, and proof that I'll say anything for 50 quid. But they'll be out there with him stateside, as they have been over the last few years. And he's just high on his toes as we head into the 5th round.
There's a couple of times he's come out and led with a right hand. Nice straight right hand right down the pipe. Might be something that you're using, you know, in preparation for a southpaw.
Keeping his range too, I guess, in a fight like this, where the last thing you want is to get a cut. Especially Trenel just kind of occasionally rushes at you, little short bursts and raids, and he's the slightly shorter man too. You can see Conway just adjusting that range when Trenel is on the ropes.
Shot. It's always risky having a warm-up fight so close to a big event, but that's why the opponent is so important. And discipline in the fight. Nice little shifts with his head, a few little feints, changing the angle. Trying to draw a lead from Trenel, but taking a bit of a beating here, Trenel now. I'd like to see his corner step in.
soon as I call break, you have to take one step back, okay? Straight away when I call break, okay? Box.
Double right hand just caught Trenel in the second phase after the first one landed two, and the Frenchman hurt here. Hangs on with a minute or so to go in round number 5, and Steve Gray said, what are you doing last time? But he's trying to survive is what he's trying to do. And again, Conway starting to turn for some really clean straight shots, and Steve Gray having a look at him. I was in the car over with Steve, and he said such a big part of the job is anticipating danger, sensing when fighters are hurt almost just before they know they are. And he's closest to the action than anybody.
It's always going to be a hard job, an unrewarding job as a referee. I don't think I'd like to do it. You know, sometimes you don't get any favours from the fans or the fighters. But I think Steve Gray is one of the good guys and does a great job.
Never forget the stoppage of Joshua and Povetkin, when he simultaneously managed to get in, push Joshua back, and then somehow get around the back of Povetkin and catch him before he hit his head on the canvas. So he sensed the danger in Trenel as well, and got in right on cue, just at the right time. And that's good refereeing and a good performance of Kieran Conway to go through the gears, get some rounds in. And he'll be grateful for the help he's received from Gregory Trenel. Unblemished, no marks on his face, no welts. He'll be able to go back into the gym and spar Monday or Tuesday, and Sky pretty much exactly what he would have wanted from tonight.
Yeah, I think it was exactly what he wanted and needed, I'd say. Obviously, a fair bit of time out of the ring and a nice tune-up this far out from the fight. Didn't take too much risk, and is coming out of it injury-free.
Keep an eye.
He may look back at this as a perfect part of his preparations for, I would say, the biggest fight of his professional career coming up. Hammer Williams has carved himself a very good reputation stateside, had a little bit of time out with some mental health issues during the pandemic, as so many will identify with, but he's back in good form too, and that's great to see. But these two will meet head on in Las Vegas, September 17th. Yeah, Trenel was just starting to unravel, and he's so brave, and he's got such a good chin, really. Never looks bothered, but he was in trouble, and Steve Gray right to step in. Well, David Diamante is standing by to read us through the official particulars, so let's head to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Gray calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 22 seconds of round number 5. Declaring your winner by TKO from Northampton, Kieran Two-Class Conway.
So a good win for Kieran Conway to get us up and running here in Sheffield. A big night of action coming up over the next 5 or 6 hours, live on DAZN, and plenty more content across the platform for you at home as well.
I always say, before the season even starts, we talk about the season finishing.
The DAZN Soccer Show is here with regular updates on the biggest stories, the biggest names, and the best takes. It's come from both of us. What's striker?
Jimenez. Raul Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez, yeah.
That's one for the outtakes.
Yeah. Inside info from those in the know as well, taking a global view of the game that we love. The DAZN Soccer Show with new content daily. Give me your top 5 goal scorers this season.
Chelsea. No.
Chelsea haven't got anyone, have they? Sorry, Raheem Sterling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is set to go and ready to make his ring walk. Please welcome Jose Manuel Clavero.
The new DAZN Soccer Show he'll be hosting tonight. Laura Woods is a little bit under the weather. Risha Wells should be back for the next one, no doubt. And that will all kick off at 7 o'clock. Here's Jose Clavero, win one, lose one title fights from Andalusia, 16 and 17. Bit of a gunslinger too, which makes it good fun to watch. So I sense that approach against someone who punches like Junaid Bostan. Could see him walk into something. And Junaid Bostan, a young lad who was at the English gym in the early days that you were there too. I know you remember him, and you know how talented he is.
He's so talented, always has been. I remember meeting him when he was about 9 or 10 years old, and you know, he always had that flair, he always had that flamboyance. he could, you know, dance and move and can punch up either hand, either foot. You know, he's a little bit of a showman, and I hope we see that tonight. And if we don't see it tonight, I'm sure we'll see it, you know, as his career progresses. But he's a real character.
Clavero was out against Carl Fail last time out. 6 rounds against him, completed 6 against Brian Rose last year too. Suleiman Sissoko, 7 to get rid of him. Jorge Fortea couldn't in 10. But as you say, Bostan, very talented dad, heavy-handed too. But it will come to rumble with him, so this could be a lot of fun. Our second contest of the night here in Sheffield.
And now, entering the arena, please welcome Junaid Bostan.
Well, he's a really interesting kid, Junaid Bostan. I met him for the first time just before our open workout Wednesday this week, and he's just got the confidence and air of a young man that knows his destiny is one that's going to be under the bright lights in a few years' time. And I sense because he grew up in that Ingles environment, he watched the likes of Kell Brook and Kid Galahad, and of course he's well aware of Nassim Hamed and the furore that was around him growing up, and he's just got that little bit of quiet swag that I think may grow as the performances get better and better. He's relaxed, cool, calm, can switch it as you'd expect from an Ingles fighter, and fundamentally for a lad of his age, looking very, very good already.
100%, he's made for this game. You know, he's having a really good time, he's enjoying it. He said to me yesterday, which is quite funny, you know, if I box like everyone else straight up and down, I'll get my head pinged off, so I've got to have a fun, I've got to be able to do what I want.
We're about to see what he has got to offer. Grant Smith in his corner. Second contest of the night at Super Welterweight, 6 rounds scheduled. Let's head over to David.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next contest, a special Super Welterweight contest. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, FCI Markets, and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Fleetwood, scoring A-star referee, Mr. Steve Gray. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the Super Welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the red and gold trim. He scaled 11 stone, 2 pounds, 3 ounces. His professional record, 16 victories, 17 defeats, 1 draw, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Granada and Lucia, España, introducing Jose Manuel Lopez Clavero. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white trunks with the lavender trim. This talented young southpaw scaled 11 stone, 1 pound, 7 ounces. His young professional record thus far perfect, 1 fight, 1 victory, and that victory came by way of knockout. He fights out of Rotherham. Here's a 2-time national amateur champion, Junaid Bostan.
Junaid and Conway, take 1 step back. Jose Sadigo break, un paso atrás, okay? No punches around the back of the head. No golpes a la parte atrás de la cabeza, okay? Protect yourselves at all times. Protegete siempre. Good luck, lads.
So Super Welterweight contest agreed at 156 pound. Both fighters made weight this week. Junaid Bostan on your screen there with trainer Grant Smith. Has got a big night with his son in our main event tonight, contesting the British title at 140. But this young man already has done a few tickets ahead of this.
Round 1.
Jose Clavero, the man in the black trunks, trimmed with red, in the opposite corner. Bostan starts orthodox, already hands down, flashy. And Eddie Hearn, with his eyes trained on a young man he senses may be a future star. Long, long way to go yet, of course. He picks his shots clean, picks them early. If you did watch his debut, poor old Alexis Werner was broken up inside 4 minutes, and he had savage finishing instincts when he did have him hurt.
He's a sharp shooter, Junaid. Come out dead relaxed. Tassels on fleek. Making Clavero pay already.
Good start already. Clavero taking some clean straight shots. Having his head snapped back. Stiff jab to the body as well. Uppercut through the middle. Beautiful work from Bostan early.
It's a fantastic start. Lovely left hook to the body.
Well, I reeled off the names that Clavero's done some rounds with. But Bostan hasn't started like he's expecting this fight to go long.
Clavero's an experienced campaigner. Weren't so long ago he lost a majority decision to Brian Rose, who, you know, he's a championship level fighter.
And there is the switch from Bostan. Got that Ingalls swag and left and right stance. Equally good from both, but with the brilliant fundamentals of a fighter from the Steel City Gym who's been with Grant Smith since he was 12 years of age, as he just fizzes a scooping left uppercut from southpaw, switches to left-handed now.
Downstairs. And again, up into gap. You've got to get ready for that up into gap there, Junaid. Stop. 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 Double chop up if you want. And again. Push in. You've got a punch there when he does that. Up into gap if you come. Oh, lovely change. Up into gap there.
Clavero swing and a miss as Bostan again just switches to southpaw, backs him into the corner, gives him a smile, turns through a stiff 1-2, misses with a left hand follow up, and Clavero has his first bit of success in the round.
I love this matchup for Junaid. Clavero's not a journeyman. No, he's a road warrior, but he's got a 50-50 record. He's not just come to tuck up and take the money.
Yeah, he's very much the kind of fighter, if he can win, he will win.
I think that's exactly what you need for Junaid at this stage. He's one of them ADHD kids, and he if you don't get his attention, if you don't require that attention from him, he might not focus. He needs to focus.
Breathe. Listen, calm down, got 5 rounds. Listen, I don't want you getting hit. You got hit twice, 1 week.
Well, he's taken a few digs early, hasn't he, Clavero? Let's have a look at some of the action so far. Beautiful uppercut off the jab. Followed up, just changes the arc on the right hand as well. And well, in between the variety of his work, there's variety from both stances. He said at the presser on Thursday, after this Saturday, I'll no longer be a hidden talent, and certainly it's a platform bigger than what he's boxed on so far, and it will get people talking about him.
It's a very sharp start from Junaid. Be catching a lot of eyes tonight.
Well, he also said to Eddie Hearn, he said, I used to pay £40 a ticket for the big fights, and I'd hop the barrier for ringside. Sorry, Eddie. And Eddie said, no problem, we'll dock that from your wages.
Might be a few deductions. Hope you don't tell him that I used to help him jump over.
You were the leg up. Clavero just trying to find the route in, but he's well overmatched here. Bostan almost seeing things coming in slow motion. Check right hook, switches on the back foot.
Boston's got such a big frame, but you can see he's still a boy. He's 20 years old, but he's still not filled out. I don't think he cut any weight at all to make light middle. He's a bit too big for a welter, but he didn't really cut any weight this week to make weight.
Yeah, you can certainly see him going up to middle in the next 4 or 5 years as he does fill out. He's relaxed, turns through the shots well.
Going to grow into light middle and then probably end up at middle, I think.
Bend after and come underneath. Keep him busy.
Made me laugh yesterday after the weigh-in. He come up to me and said, the first thing he said was, "This guy's about as old as my mum, about 37."
Come on, you up.
It's hilarious.
So you can punch back.
He's having a lot of success with the uppercut. Playing possum here. Let him go.
I heard Grant Smith just say when he does roll, when he dips over that front foot, he is vulnerable to that uppercut, and Bostan heard that. He was just caught on the return there, though.
Punch when you sit down. Keep him busy with that. There, you've got to punch with your hands higher. There. Downstairs.
Great lead left hook. Tried it again. Just missed, but he's getting his timing. He's got a half smile on his face. He's really having a good time. He's enjoying himself in there.
Yeah, and there is a cut just above the right eye of Clavero, starting to pour down the right side of his face with 55 on the clock. As long as he's not running into the eye, it shouldn't be too problematic for him. Bostan has seen that now, looks for the left hook straight away. Clavero kept the hands high and tight, then he goes in the second phase under the elbow. Smart work. Setting traps for him. Right hand this time.
I like the fact that he's picking out the body shots. You see a lot of young fighters go head hunting all the time. He's really picking them nice body shots out. The speed of him that's really giving the opponent some trouble today.
Turn the screw. Turn the screw. And again.
Lovely angle there, just slid across. Chopped him up through the middle again, stepping round him, and Clavero would have felt surrounded at points then.
Turn the screw.
Grant Smith now asking him to turn the screw, go through the gears and put some pressure on the man in front of him. Really good start. In full control, Junaid Bostan.
Alright? Good lad. See how these rams get better and better when you take the top. Listen, stop talking, spit this one out. That were a lot better ram. But don't try to get too good. See how each ram now just gets a little bit better, eh? Rather than going from 0 to 100. Yeah? Okay? Good lad. This is good. What?
Shows what they think of Junaid Bostan. The fact that in the second fight they're giving him 6 rounds, especially at 20 years old. A lot of young fighters have been on 4 rounders for good 5, 6 fights possibly.
Yeah. Well, that was just the shot you just saw moments ago. Just got clipped. There it is again with the right hand in the crossfire, and he was kind of rotating at the same time. And you saw him wince slightly there. He was pretty clean.
Round 3.
No bad thing, just to keep sharp and remember the danger that is coming back, even when he's having things 98% his own way. He's back on the front foot here. Just approach the halfway point of our second contest of the night here in Sheffield.
You to step in. Roll your feet, stiff feet and arms. Stiff arms and feet. Keep him busy. Hit your shots. Just hit the bag, Junaid. You've got to punch there, son.
I like Boston's gauge of distance. I feel he's very good at making him just miss and being close enough to come back with that counter straight away.
There you go. Now fight with him there then. Have a fight with him.
Yeah, he's relaxed and fast enough to see everything coming at distance too.
Now get on the jab.
You can see him listening to Grant Smith's instructions in the corner. We can of course hear them probably slightly better than you may be able to at home, but he's heeding the instructions and listening closely. It's going to be a tougher task for Smith to make himself heard in the main event later, because it will be a lot louder in here than it is tonight.
Punch! And again, punch, bend! Bend! Yeah, come on, you've got to be ready for that, son. Put them together now.
Bostan now starting to go through the gears. Clavero just camped up on the ropes, trying to stay side on, trying to anticipate what's coming and trying to fire back, as he so often does when he's under the cosh. Again, Bostan just holding his feet in front of his man, looking to land something hurtful. They lock up again.
That cut's really opening up. Clavero's right eye now. Lovely stiff jab from Junaid. Whipping in lead hooks. Find the home for the uppercut.
Yeah, Clavero pulled out the way of it that time, didn't he? Again, Bostan just doubles up the body shots, looks for the left hook down the middle, missed it that time.
He's not getting overexcited or looking to try and stop it, force a stoppage. He's staying smart and not taking too many risks.
I think it's going to be a great experience for him to get these 6 rounds in the bag tonight. First fight he had was a first round stoppage, or second round stoppage, and you know, these 6 rounds will be invaluable for him tonight. Great experience.
And there is what's coming up, Nico Leivars, his gym mate. A 2-0 bantamweight in his third contest against Angel Chavez from Catalonia in Spain. Aqib Fiaz returns to action. He's had a really difficult year or so, losing his mum and his best friend to COVID last year. Good to have him back against well-travelled journeyman Jordan Ellison from County Durham. And then Hopey Price, Jordan, your stablemate, a fast-rising star of the super bantamweight / featherweight division tonight, of course, but well, I haven't put a foot wrong so far. Alexander Mejia, an experienced opponent of 18-3, but I know you'll be back in your stablemate later on.
100%, it's going to be one-sided biased commentary from me. I can assure you that.
I thought you were going to say one-sided beatdown from there, but you went with commentary, fine. Bostan back at Southport, just flicking that jab out from the hip, puts the left hand behind it. And Clavero looking despondent at this stage and a little flat too. Understandably, he hasn't had much to shout about through the first 3 rounds, and again, Bostan just making him miss.
Shot. Lovely straight left down the pipe. Didn't aim for the chin, aimed for the chest, and I think he got the solar plexus. Like the fact that he come out southpaw, snaking out an up jab, set something up. Back orthodox now.
Sometimes you see fighters who switch, it's a little bit tokenistic, but you can see with him it's a genuinely integral part of how he boxes, and he does things with a purpose. It's all not overusing one style or the other, switching pretty naturally, doesn't have to think too much about it, but everything as part of a pretty well-rounded package for a young fighter.
Definitely.
This is with the right hand there. Clavero locks him up, just trying to gather a bit of rest and just try to sneak a right hand off the break there.
A lot of little tricks that will have an effect that, you know, maybe the everyday eye might not see. Little things like when Junaid gets close and he does spin him around whilst he's waiting for the ref to say break. You know, that would just scramble your senses a little bit. Have a little spin in the middle of the ring. And before you know it, you've been broken and someone's hitting you again. Lovely jab.
There you go.
Counter to the body there. Again, Clavero, he's just trying to make the most of these little patches where they do come together, and he can just chop away with short shots to the head and to the body. It's pretty much his best chance because at range he's landed very little. That clipping right hand in the first round, almost in isolation through what is nearly 4 completed rounds here in Sheffield. Just tries to wing his way out of the corner again. Another right hand misses.
You can see Junaid taking in instruction from Grant Smith. He's really listening to Grant. You can tell because he's answering him back in the middle of the ring. It's great.
He's enjoying himself, and what you said to me earlier on this week, and I think you reiterated it about 10 minutes ago too, he needs decent opposition in front of him to keep him switched on, to keep him almost engaged and entertained. But as he starts to turn through the shots here, just wonder when he has got a really lively opponent in front of him, somebody that he senses could be dangerous, we may start to really see the best of him. And it's strange to say that about somebody with such inexperience, but he just looks better than somebody with only 2 fights on his card. So there is Junaid Bostan, 4 rounds completed, ahead of a big night here in Sheffield. We just saw Kieran Conway in action, and we know which fight and which card he's on next. 17th of September in Las Vegas. It's Canelo Triple G for a 3rd time.
Good luck. Right.
called super fights. This is one of them. Both men are firing what they've got.
This is a draw. There has to be a rematch. And new WBC. There's a score to settle.
There's real bad blood here.
Everybody wants to fight, right? He took a lot of shit.
I don't want talking with him. I want to fight.
We would have been meeting 4 years later for the undisputed crown at super middleweight. How much has changed since they last met? Golovkin defeating Murata over in Japan by I think it was a 9th round stoppage in the end, showing that he's still got something to give. How much will that £8 benefit him? Canelo, we know, is a beast at 168, all to fight for in the end of a brilliant trilogy between two of the best fighters in the last 20 years. And Junaid Bostan would dream of being involved in nights like that, and he's dealing with the man in front of him with ease here, toying with him, kind of cat and mouse stuff, just looks for the left hand under the elbow. Clavero just tucks his arm down, tries to smother and hold. They've done a good job on that cut, hasn't caused him any real problems. Unfortunately, he's got plenty of other problems to worry about in the form of Junaid Bostan. He's been being hit from just about every conceivable angle. As he turns through another 1-2 from southpaw this time. Grant Smith calling for the body shots. He obliges. Solid they were too. Deep breath from the Spaniard.
Clavero is starting to look like he doesn't really want to be here. A big swing and a miss, but he's struggling now.
Sky, you've won fights without really taking so much as a shot back. Do you get to a point in a contest you just sense there's despondency in your opponent?
Yeah, and I'm definitely starting to see that here as well. Clavero's looking like a beaten man now, and you can see Bostan here with his hands down, looking very impressive, picking his shots well.
Did just have a short chopping uppercut there, Clavero, while you're talking, but again, these are memorable moments because they're in such isolation, and it didn't really put a dent in Bostan, and again, just stalks back onto the front foot, boxes his man into the corner, waits for his moment. Clavero just tried to turn the head to take the sting off that right hand there. A round to go after this, and he's a completely beaten man, isn't he, at this stage? Hands down, just trying to try something different, looking for that counter left hook, trying to bait the body, but lovely angle created by Bostan. Just stunned him for a moment as he stepped off on the angle. He's in full flow here. Screw uppercut through the middle with the lead hand, putting the shots together. Grant Smith beckoning him on now, saying test this man, see where he is. 20 seconds to go in the penultimate round here. Done well to stay on his feet, isn't he?
Looking ready to go at any time. It's a fantastic time for Junaid to be, a prospect in the gym of Grant Smith. Got fighters like Dalton fighting for the British title tonight. Nico Leivars, prospect alongside him who we'll see soon. But world champions like Sonny Edwards. Also, obviously, the Albanian beast Florian Mark in the same gym as well. So it's all great names, great fighters to learn from as well.
Sonny Edwards said to me at the open workout this week, he said he may be the most naturally talented fighter that I've ever trained alongside, and you just reeled off some of the fighters in that gym. It's a very, very good stable indeed, and if he believes that this man could be the best of all of them, that is a ringing endorsement from a very good world champion himself. You see him there, just drop the shoulder, lead right hand, pivots off on the angle, throws that short shot up the middle. That's not easy to do. I mean, that's Jordan Gill-esque, I have to say.
I don't know about that. I think he's going to be a superstar, this kid. I think he's got all the attributes, and I think he'll go all the way as long as he's got to learn and improve and listen to his coach. It's a great start tonight.
Sixth and final round.
I think you could possibly see the influence of Sonny Edwards in his camp.
Yeah, a bit of swag, plenty of flash, but he hasn't overused it too. He's stuck to task. He's boxed really, really well. Just enough for Eddie Hearn and those watching ringside to know that he is a very special young fighter. How will he fare as he goes up the levels? Clavero has done really well to get to round number 6. He'll want to see this out. Just wonder whether Bostan might turn the screw here, really see if he's got the resistance to see out the next 2.5 minutes.
This is great experience for Junaid. This 6 rounds is invaluable.
And to be fair, he's boxed at a reasonably good pace without overdoing it. Clips him with the right hand on the turn there, walks him into a left hook. And again, Clavero responds, a little right hand that just clips the side of the head of Bostan. But he hasn't looked out of breath or concerned at any point in the corner. And he has, of course, had this his own way. But that's a good sign that his engine's developing nicely too. Stiff 1-2 down the middle. Clavero tries to fire back, walks into a left hook again.
You've got to give credit to Clavero. He keeps fighting back.
He's fighting back, and he's absolutely at the bottom of the gas tank. His legs look so heavy. He's still looking for a way to win here. No doubt about his chin whatsoever, as Bostan is really starting to put the hammer down. Left hand through the middle, drops Clavero to his knees. Steve Gray may well have seen enough here. He's waved off the count. And that's the right thing to do, because I think the kitchen sink was on its way and Gray stepped in before it got there. Clavero protests, as he has every right to, because he dug in hard to get to that point, but it was coming, wasn't it?
Great stoppage. Great performance from Junaid. You know, he did actually take a few back, but you know, the chin was checked tonight. He done well. Offensively fantastic, defensively fantastic. Feet were good, hands were low. Southpaw, orthodox. He done it all, and I think we're going to see an exciting journey from this young man, and I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah, very good indeed, no doubt. Those of you that have been watching this at home will be thinking the same, and that was him leading through the ropes just to fist bump his old mate Jordan Gill. He's seen you scaling the heights of European titles, Commonwealth titles too, and on your way to the big stage, and he knows the hard work that's gone into your journey. He's seen, as I said, the likes of Kid Galahad, Kell Brook in the gym too, and a stable that surrounds him at the moment, all on their way to big things in the sport of boxing. And we said if Dalton Smith is going to lead the charge for Sheffield, he's going to need a good supporting cast, and after what we've seen tonight, you wouldn't bet against this man being a part of that journey.
Definitely. He looks the part. He is the part, you know. Looking great in the ring tonight. Fantastic performance. Really made up for him. He's a lovely guy. Got the confidence for a reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could please get a round of applause as a show of respect for both of these fighters. Referee Steve Gray calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage went in at 33 seconds of round number 6. For your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated, Junaid Bostan.
Real sportsmanship for Clavero, and I think, yeah, that's probably the right way round. He's taken a bit of a beating, and he's done really well to hang in there as long as he did. And speaking to Junaid Bostan earlier on this week, he said he loved watching the likes of Hector Camacho, Fernando Vargas, Nassim Hamed, Sugar Ray Leonard, our lead Roy Jones. He wants to entertain, he wants to be a showman like they were. Just gave us a little taste of that tonight. Really good performance in his second professional contest. He'll be pleased to get the stoppage again and get some rounds in the bag as well. So those two fights in the bag. Kieran Conway with a comfortable win against Gregory. Trenel, Junaid Bostan with victory over Jose Clavero. Plenty still to come on before the bell. That is what's to come on our main fight card. The live DAZN broadcast starting at 7 o'clock local time here in Sheffield. Campbell Hatton returns for his 8th contest against Mikhail Dufek. Jordan Thompson in a really potentially tough scrap against a very good European level operator in Vasyl Dutsar. His opportunity to put his name on the cruiserweight map domestically. Big Johnny Fisher back for the first time since Alexander Palace, the Ryder Jacobs undercard at the beginning of the year, sustained a hand injury against Gabriel Nguema. He is back in action against Michael Reisinger, and then Sandy Ryan and Erica Farias will run things back after a close fought decision victory in favour of the former 2-weight world champion. That is our chief support ahead of this one. The British super lightweight title, the Lonsdale belt at 140. Dalton Smith hasn't put a foot wrong as a pro so far, under the tutelage of the man that's just cornered Junaid Bostan to victory, his dad Grant. against Sam O'Maison, the former English champion, who will triumph here in the Steel City. All that to come later on this evening. Right now, stablemate of Junaid Bostan, Nico Leivars, ready for his third contest. Let's get them to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, we are set to go with the 6-round bantamweight affair. Set to make his ring walk. Please welcome El Niño de Oro, Angel Gabriel Chavez.
Angel Chavez, a super flyweight counter-puncher based in Barcelona. He's a dual Guatemala-Nicaraguan national. He's 3-3. All three of his victories, though, have come by stoppage. He's compact, he's tidy. He likes to catch and counter with the left hook. His feet are quite sharp, too. He should be a good, lively opponent for Nico Leivars. Somebody, like we saw with Kieran Conway earlier, Junaid Bostan too, just to keep him on his toes here in Sheffield tonight. Grant Smith will want to make it 3 from 3 for his boys in their home city. Angel Chavez will have other ideas. Last out against Brian Lagaspada, really good scrap. I thought he was actually a little unlucky not to get the win. It could be 4-2, but they were both happy to kind of play you go, I go for 4 rounds. His work was clean, counters to the body and combinations well. Just there to be hit a little more than he needs to be, but I think his style will gel well with the style of Nico Leivars. And this one's scheduled for 6 rounds in the bantamweight division at £120 agreed catch weight. Both fighters made weight yesterday afternoon.
And now entering the arena, please welcome Nico Lightning Leivars.
Well, we were lucky enough to call his debut a few months ago, and he's been dominant in his first 2 contests. Has that Steel City style, very smooth, disciplined, does a lot really well. Sonny Edwards really rates him. He's his main sparring partner. I said, do you box with anybody else? He said, well, it's not a great deal of point when you've got Sonny Edwards at your disposal. One of the very best in a couple of divisions below where this young man will be complaining as a professional. A burgeoning stable of champions on display here tonight in Sheffield. From what we've seen so far, there is more than enough reason to believe that this young man will climb towards the top of the domestic ranks in the next 3 to 4 years, and we'll find out just how good he can be. From Mansfield, young Nico Leivars.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, FCI Markets, and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell, scoring A-star referee from Doncaster, Mr. Howard Foster. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the white trim. He scaled 8 stone, 9 pounds, 4 ounces. His professional record, 3 wins, 3 defeats, all 3 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Girona, Catalonia, España. Introducing El Niño de Oro, the golden boy, Angel Gabriel Chavez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the sky blue with the white and gold trim. He scaled 8 stone, 11 pounds, 2 ounces. His young professional record thus far perfect, 2 fights, 2 victories. Fighting out of Mansfield, here's the 2-time GB Championship gold medalist, the 2-time National Elite Champion, the Haringey Cup gold medalist, and the 2-time Ireland Monkstown gold medalist, Nico Lightning Leivars.
Go guys, know the rules, keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both watch your heads in close, good luck to you both, touch close. Good luck lads.
Michael charging.
He's done a couple of hundred tickets, shifted just a few weeks after he was last out in Leeds. He got the call just before his last contest to say that he'd be on this card. He said, I just simply couldn't turn it down given the occasion. He is interlinked with Mansfield Town Football Club, really wants to have a big night down the line at Field Mill. He's been going to the games every weekend since he was a boy, and that explains why he is shifting so many tickets at this early stage of his career. But he said he's humbled given that the cost of living crisis, the financial squeeze on so many, that still people are coming out to support him, and that already they're in to the swing of things into full voice as the crowd starts to filter in here at the Sheffield Arena. It will be loud when Dalton Smith ring walks and Sam Amazon a little later on. Leivars at centre ring.
Got 6 rounds, Nico.
Chavez already trying to box with him, but just landed a couple. Just see the blinking in the eyes of Chavez. Just felt that right hand.
Vince as well. Big Nico as well.
Come out nice and sharp and fast. Nico living up to the name of Lightning. Boxing lovely so far.
I said to Sonny Edwards, he had to pick a couple of things that he does particularly well. So he creates angles brilliantly. So he sets traps too. Subtle things you don't always see. Can walk you into shots. Intelligent young fighter. Just backs Chavez up with a double jab. Right hand under the elbow. Good rolling counter there. Chavez just touching the back of his head.
We're lucky enough to commentate on his debut in Nottingham. And what impressed me that night was his angles. He lands, shifts the angle, lands again. You'll see that tonight, I'm sure. He's got great travelling support from Mansfield and the local area.
Set your feet.
You can just hear Nico's corner say, you've got 6 rounds, you've got 6 rounds. Don't rush.
Yeah, he's keen to impress, isn't he?
The man on a mission.
It's
a great match for him.
He's putting his head low.
Opponent 3-3, 50-50 record. He looks solid, he's in good shape, he's come to win.
All of his opponents have been unbeaten as well.
He's waiting for you to step in to meet you with that
Chavez.
backhand. See? See how he don't throw straight away with your face? That's 30, take your time.
Lovely drop down to the body with a left hook there.
Hey, down with the backhand. See? Drop a shoulder, drop a shoulder. Drop a shoulder. There.
Great opening round here.
Drop a shoulder.
Chavez is really starting to feel the pressure here. It's been relentless from Nico.
He's just landed a counter left hook there, but he takes a deep breath as he sits down on his stool, sits the mouth guard out. He was under the cosh for that first minute. Some of the action from that opening round just missed with a glancing, chopping right hand over the top. Leivars just maintaining the distance, stepping outside. There's the angles that Sonny Edwards was talking about. Screwed that right hand down the middle off the angle change. Well, he knows he's in a fight, doesn't he?
He does. I don't think he has to be a genius to know that he's 1 round down already. Big gulp of water. See what he brings in round 2.
Chorus, 10 seconds. Second count. Round 2.
So where we go then, round 2 of 6, our 3rd contest here on Before the Bell. Welcome to those of you that joined us in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Chris Doyle here alongside Jordan Gill and Sky Nicholson to take you through our pre-broadcast segment. Before we go live at 7 o'clock local time, likes of Campbell Hatton, Jordan Thompson and Vassal Dutsar, Big Johnny Fisher, Erica Farias and Sandy Ryan running it back, all to set the table very nicely for British title at 140 pounds, an all Sheffield affair between Dalton Smith and Sam Mason, live on DAZN tonight in Sheffield. Leivars, stablemate of Smith, just at centre ring, picking the shots well. Started fast against Angel Chavez, has landed clean, and down he goes.
I think he's cut. There's a head clash before that, left hook to the body.
Yeah, holding that above the left eye. Doesn't look happy at all.
Thumb shield's out.
And you may be right here, because the punch itself looked fairly innocuous. We will try and get a look at that for you.
I think it was the head clash that done the damage. It's really leaking blood now into the eye. It's holding it together, but I think this is going to be stopped.
I think this may be all over. You're right. The ringside doctor who's up on the apron. He's going to have a good look at the cut now.
Less than 4 rounds complete. I think it could be a technical draw here. What a shame for Nico Leivars.
What a shame indeed. He was in full control of the contest, but that's sometimes just what happens in boxing.
Been there myself. Had a big gash on the top of my forehead. It's a shame. Technical draw, but any other country, it'd be a no contest. But British Boxing Board of Control rules. Technical draw. Doesn't look great on the record, but it's not going to define Nico Leivars' career. He's going to move on. He's going to be in some big fights now.
No, you could just see they're both squared up as he was working to the body. The heads came together. Nothing in it at all. Yeah, you see there, he just steps in. You'd say probably Nico Leivars at fault there, but you know he's stepping in. He's not deliberately doing that. He's in full control. He's got no need to do that. You can see the swelling that it's causing already above the eye as he's waved off there. Whoa, wow, it's really, really swollen.
Horrible.
No chance.
You see the disappointment in Nico's face, but this is boxing, this is a sport. He'll be absolutely gutted tonight, but when he looks back at the end of his career,
ladies
he's not
and
looking
gentlemen,
about
referee
tonight.
Howard Foster deems the injury caused by an accidental headbutt. 4 rounds have not been completed, therefore we go 59 seconds of round number 2. We have a technical draw.
So an unsatisfactory ending for Nico Leivars and for Angel Chavez.
Very disappointing, really.
A technical draw between these two, but Leivars will feel a sense of victory here. He was in control, he's in his home city, and there's more important things for his stablemates on the line here tonight. Lots of action still to come, and a big night for our chief support, the home fighter Sandy Ryan, who fell short against Erica Farias last time out. She got a number of things wrong. She looks in physically and mentally a different place heading into the rematch. Can she right the wrongs and get revenge here later on tonight?
After the fight, hard, struggle, I thought that's it, my career's done. After the fight, obviously I spoke to my team and they're like, don't be stupid, I want to put it right. Like I knew what I'd done wrong in the last prep, and me getting that right, I know I can beat Farias. Social media as well, like I kind of got involved with it too much, like the people saying stuff and like hate and stuff like that, and I let it get to me. Then I just hit a really low point, and some life stuff as well that I let get involved with me and let mess my head up. Obviously my best friend Rochelle noticed it. She said, I think you should you need to come off social media, you need to get rid of your phones. So I've not had a phone I've not been on social media like for so long. I've not had people been able to contact me, just my close people. Got a little shitty Nokia phone, and but it's helped. And I couldn't find my friend Rochelle in Clifton enough because I was in a real bad place, and them two have brought me back, and I'm gonna have a lot to thank them for.
Even here,
The picture me here, this was taken fight week, and I just looked terrible. When I look at it, I just think, the fuck, what was you doing? Like, I'm out of shape, and that's fight week. I'm in better shape right now. We went in to boxer, keep it long, and it did started off like that. Just keeping it long, as she's coming, taking that little step back and coming back with my shots. And it was working like that. This is the first round. I done okay. She starts fast every time, every round, but after round 1, I thought, her feet are slow. Like, my feet are much faster than hers. And I clocked that straight away. She hasn't really got fast feet. But then, as the rounds went on, I held my feet and went into her game plan, and that's what she wanted. That's when it went into a war. She is strong. She's very strong. It's not like I don't feel like it was it's like one punch knockout power she has, but she is strong, and she's tough. Like, we both took clean shots in this fight. Like there, she caught me with a left hook there, clean, and I was just like, and I walked forward. But that's just the fight in me. Like, I'll take shots and I'll come back with my own. Whereas I didn't need to be doing that. Like, I've got a much better boxing brain than this. I just hate watching it back, to be honest, because I just know it's just not a good performance for myself, and like, this is mid fight now, and I'm just going toe to toe with her. I got complacent before the fight. And I'm thinking, I can beat this girl. So some of the stuff in prep, I just didn't do 100%, and I think, what an idiot! Like, what have you done? And because I wouldn't know what else to do if I didn't do boxing. It's crazy because I've just done boxing all my life. Like, I was on GB for 9 years, so it's literally all I know. And I remember Cliff saying to me, "What are you gonna do if you don't box?" I'm like, I wouldn't know. And I was at such a low point. I was like, I wouldn't want to be here. And he goes, "Listen, we need to get this right. Let's put the things right and get you back happy, enjoying and just being happy and working on the things that you got wrong right. And yeah, I've just got it right now. But that's the help from Cliff and my friend Rochelle. So yeah, I've got a lot to thank them for.
Just learning so much every time I step in ring wear, and I remember when we were over in Tenerife and Andrew got a call off Clifton asking if we could do some rounds with Sandy. First I was like, oh, as if they want me, and then the second I was like, oh no, I'm going to be sparring Sandy, and this was the type of sparring I've needed for a long time, and just to take me to the next level. And Sandy's class, and she's been for like big profile in the amateur game, and it's just someone who I've always looked up to, so it's class and it's priceless being able to get in the ring and share it with her. I couldn't get any better sparring than this, and like I said, it's something I've needed for a very long time to take me to the next level, and I feel like we've created a good relationship now with Clifton and Sandy, and there's someone we can use in the future for future fights for both of us. I feel like she's done the right thing. She's got straight back in the gym, she's kept a small team around her, and she's just got straight back to work, and I think the fact she's getting straight back in the ring shows what type of character she is and what type of athlete she is.
I feel much happier, and people can see it in me. Like, when they see me, they're like, you look half the person that you was. Boxing is such a hard sport, and you need to believe in yourself and be confident of getting in the ring with no matter who it is that you get in there with. A lot of people only see me fight week and like fight day, and like if we was to have a conversation like off camera or whatever, you see I'm not like that all the time. I'm just a chilled person, and I don't want violence day in, day out. I just want violence fight week. But yeah, that's just the kind of person I am, and not a lot of people get to see that, which is hard sometimes, because then social media have something different to say. Oh, you're arrogant, you're this, you're that. But then they don't know me in day-to-day life, do you know what I mean? And they don't know what effect that had on me after fights and stuff. But I've learned now how to deal with stuff like that, because there's always going to be people saying stuff like, oh, hating, but they don't know me as a person. Fight 1, my debut, these gloves. Obviously, I just went for, my colour's kind of like black and white. I've kind of gone for. But then fight 2, I went for a all white, and because I boxed in Italy, I thought I'm gonna have the Great Britain flag and the Ireland flag. Obviously, my mum's Irish, so I got an all white glove made, and it had a shamrock on one side, the Great Britain flag on the other glove. And a week before the fight, my manager was like, in Italy, they don't allow the females to fight in 8-ounce gloves. So we didn't have time to get a customised glove. So I've just had to get these ones, 10-ounce. But yeah, when I boxed in 10-ounce, and that was obviously, like just said, the cleanest, my clean knockout. And then my third fight, Manchester. And then my last fight, and the loss. But we'll get a space for the next one. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be times, I spoke to Cliff about it, it's a 10-round fight, and there's going to be times where we're trading again. But this time round I'm going to be much stronger and sharper. I think my brain is going to be much focused and sharper to finish the exchanges much better. I think it was actually round 6 that she perforated my eardrum, and I never experienced that before. I got caught with a left hook, and I just felt like kind of like a pop, but then I just couldn't hear nothing in this ear, and I thought, fuck, what's that? So I'm just keeping tight, trying to cover my ear, and I'm thinking, I couldn't even hear what was going on outside. And I remember going back to the corner, and I was like, Cliff, my ear's gone. You're gonna have to shout, I can't hear you. So that was another experience of getting an injury in the fight that I'd never experienced before. I know people love to see this as well, but at least people know now I can have a war, I can have a fight. But the next fight, I want to show that I've got a good boxing brain, and I just want to look good in this next fight. I thought it was that close, it could have gone either way. Can we stop it there? So I don't like watching it.
Junaid Farias in the rematch!
I approach this fight like it's my career-defining fight. I have to win. There's no other way about it. I have to win. That's why I've done everything I can in this camp, cut certain things off, fully focused, because I know I have to win this fight. I have put a lot of pressure on myself, because I know there is a lot of pressure, but I'll just deal with it and do my best to get that win. I have to win. I have to end a career, basically.
Do you know, I haven't seen that before, and what a brilliant insight that was into what Sandy Ryan's been through these last 150 days or so since her and Erica Farias last met. Obvious disappointment, taking a high-risk, high-reward fight in many senses. Sky, I know you've been through something similar, at high level at the Olympic Games, the bronze medal match. You lost a decision which was on an absolute knife edge against a very good fighter in Karis Artingstall. What is it like when you have to regroup and gather your thoughts after missing out and being so close to something that you wanted so much?
I think it's part of boxing, and I think every experienced fighter goes through it, whether it's in the amateur game or the professional game. But it's how bad you want it, and Sandy's shown how bad she wants it. She's going straight back out into this rematch fight. She's reflected on what happened, and she's made the appropriate changes that she's needed to make. And everyone has noticed, everyone's seen it. She seems in a much better place, and hopefully that shows tonight in the ring.
Well, she said to me on the phone about a week ago, Jordan, that because things weren't right outside the ring, that her early preparation in camp just wasn't where it needed to be. Nutrition wasn't great, the early runs and things just were having corners cut, and of course if you're already getting quite tight at the weight, that all those things that you don't quite do properly at the start of camp can really compound and make the last week when you're making weight very, very difficult indeed. And I guess that's the reason why we saw her come in at 144 pounds last time.
100%, it was clear she wasn't in the best shape last time. She did miss the weight by a long way, actually. It was 4 pounds over the weight, like you said. You know, it's not professional, and this time she's come in, she looks in fantastic shape. She looks like she's taking this really seriously, and I'm excited to see her fight tonight. So like you say, you are a product of what you've put into the camp, and if you put in, you know, a good solid 10-12 weeks of work where every week you're not missing a beat, then we'll see that on fight night, and I'm sure we will tonight after seeing her on the scales yesterday.
Sky, Erika Farias has a habit of dragging some very technically competent fighters and some big fighters into her kind of scrap. What would you like to see Sandy doing differently tonight that she didn't do? Does she need to use her legs more, use that amateur style and that skill set that we didn't necessarily see her use in the first fight?
Definitely, I felt so frustrated watching Sandy in the first fight, because she could stay long, she could box her at range, and it could have been a much easier night for her. But she got dragged into that fight, and I think if we see Sandy box and move like we know she can, and we've seen her do before, I think the result's going to be very, very different.
Jordan, she stayed in front of Erika Farias after she landed early in that contest. I think that bully mentality, maybe that ego that she seems to have got rid of now, she wanted to prove to everybody, I can walk through a former world champion. She found out, I guess after 5 or 6 rounds, she couldn't do that, but she did hurt her in that 6th round. She landed a couple of good left hooks under the elbow, saw Farias wince, reel back, and she didn't quite have the gears to press her in those moments. Would you like to see her working the body a little bit earlier in this contest?
I think so, yeah, but I think the most important thing for me is that she wins, and I think she's got to do it by any means possible. After the last fight, like you said, she stood in front of her, she boxed the wrong fight. You got to pick your spots in this game. You know, you box to your strengths and not your opponents, and if she stands in front of Farias again, it's going to be a hard night. But she turned pro off the back of her career off GB. She looked fantastic every fight, walking through people, and I think she expected that with Farias, and you know, it wasn't so. And like I said, she did hurt her later on in the fight, but sometimes it's too little too late. And when a fighter, especially South American fighters, when they've had success, they dig their heels in, and they're not going anywhere.
Of course, you learn the hard lessons in fights like that. I guess the bigger picture lesson, Sky, is that if things aren't right outside of the ring, you can't expect them to always go right inside of the ring. You've got to get your life in order before you can go into a difficult training camp, haven't you?
100%. I've always said a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. Lots of people say it, and it's so true. You've got to have things right outside of the ring. You can't be taking in negative energy into your training, and definitely not into fight week and into the fight. So hopefully we see those changes in Sandy tonight, and we see that happy fighter back in there and putting on a good performance.
Great to see the kind of self-appraisal from her watching that fight back, and I saw you nodding with a wry smile at the eardrum perforation that I guess is something she experienced for the first time. You annoyingly had 2 go in one fight, but you know what that feeling's like. Just describe to us what it does in terms of taking away your senses.
I mean, I can only speak for myself, but you know, it wasn't pleasant for me. I had both eardrums gone. It took away my balance. I felt like I was standing up on a surfboard. As Sandy said, the ears are, you know, they're perforated, so you can't really hear. All you can hear is a swooshing sound constantly, so it's hard to listen to coaches' instructions. It's just not ideal, is it? I know obviously certain perforations are worse than others, but you know, hopefully there's no perforated eardrums tonight and we can have a good clean fight.
Yeah, fingers crossed. A really, really good repeat or revenge storyline going into our chief supporter here in Sheffield with Sandy Ryan and Erika Farias. And of course, once we are done and dusted here in Sheffield, it's just a few hours ticking over midnight before we head to Fort Worth in Texas, where the dangerous Virgil Ortiz and the slick sharpshooter Michael McKinson will do battle rescheduled from a few weeks ago. That is also live tonight on DAZN.
serious young fighter with an unblemished record.
Junior.
I want to see Ortiz continue his destructive ways.
Knockout number 18. Win number 18.
He has everything going from the power, the discipline, the destruction.
And he can be a multi-division champion.
Michael, the problem, McKinson.
He's going to cause major problems to Ortiz.
Good shot there from McKinson.
He's a very difficult opponent.
Still undefeated.
It's power versus the power.
Michael McKinson has a style that is difficult for anyone.
Does Ortiz have the solution?
One of boxing's hottest prospects. Oh, the left hand drops him.
Michael McKinson is ready to shock the world.
Well, talk about a contrast of styles out in Fort Worth, Texas, live on the zone with dangerous Virgil Ortiz against the slick sharpshooter Michael McKinson, who will triumph in the early hours of tomorrow morning. Right back here on Before the Bell, we are ready to get the action back underway. Aqib, Fiaz and Jordan Ellison are backstage, ready to ring walk for our penultimate contest here on Before the Bell. So without further ado, let's head over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen from Sheffield, England, we're set to go with a special 6-round lightweight affair. Set to make us ring walk, please welcome Jordan Ellison.
Jordan Ellison, a familiar face for those of you on the UK boxing circuit. Solid circuit fighter for about the last 7 years, and he's been in with a who's who of British fighters too that are sitting ringside. Zelfa Barrett, who's just across the way watching some of the action a little earlier on, and you've been in with him as well, Jordan.
I have, yes. It was my first fight back with Dave. First fight with Dave after 18 months out. 6 rounds against Jordan Ellison. I stopped him in 2, but I knew it was a dangerous fight going in, and he gives plenty of people a lot of nightmares, hard night's work.
13 wins against 40 defeats. Perfect opponent to get Aqib Fiaz back up and running after a very difficult year or so outside of the ring. From County Durham, Jordan Ellison.
And now entering the arena, please welcome the undefeated Aqib Fiaz.
Well, he really has been through the mill this past year. Lost his mum and his best friend in a fortnight to COVID. His mum was in a coma ahead of the Kevin Baldespino fight camp. He didn't know the fate that would befall her, but he sensed things were in a bad way, and he had to dig in that fight when he was majorly distracted. And well, he's taken a good deal of time out of the ring, and rightly so. Came back on one of Steve Wood's shows about a month ago against Christian Nevaez just to get the wheels turning, and this is yet another opportunity to regather himself and get back on track in boxing. And it has been boxing, Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis and the fighters in the gym that have just kept his focus, kept him sane through a brutal 12 months, perhaps the most difficult of his life. When he looks back on the journey all said and done, but he's a really positive young man, a great young man, and there will be not a person in the house that isn't rooting for him outside of his opponent's corner here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Utilita Arena here in Sheffield, England, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next contest of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, FCI Markets, and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell, from Doncaster, scoring referee, A-star, referee Mr. Howard Foster. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with the green trim. This 56-fight veteran scaled 9 stone, 11 pounds, 8 ounces. Fighting out of County Durham, England, please welcome Jordan Ellison. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the dark green with the white and the gold trim. He scaled 9 stone, 11 pounds, 3 ounces. His professional record, a perfect one. 8 fights, 8 victories. Fighting out of Oldham, please welcome Aqib Fiaz.
Okay, guys, you know the rules. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
Seconds out, round 1. So away we go then, the first of 6 rounds. Agreed at £138 this. Aqib Fiaz in the green trunks with the white trim. Jordan Ellison, all in light blue with the white gloves. Exciting fighter, Fiaz. Watching him in the early days on the up. And Steve Wood shows he matches them really well, matches them tough, Steve Wood. They learn a good apprenticeship up in the north, and he was brought in originally by Jamie Moore, sparring for Carl Frampton ahead of some of his stateside preparations in the latter stages of his career. Of course, he hung them up at the beginning of this year, and Frampton said, what a good young talent he is, strong, good shot selection, can really handle himself. And he wants to regather the momentum that he's lost over these last 12 months or so. And Ellison just leads with a right hand, just catches Fiaz down the middle.
Really like the look of Aqib Fiaz. Got all the moves. I think Jamie Moore and Nigel Chavez done a really good job with him so far. What I've seen, I think that rounding with Carl Frampton, being in camp back end of his career has really helped bring him along. I think that's so important. Some fighters are lucky enough to go into some gyms where there's world level fighters, you know, at the peak of their powers, and they can really pick up all the tricks, all the knowledge, just soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah, we talked about Nico Leivars and Sonny Edwards, a classic example. In the fight before this one, and he's learning from 2 of the very best in Jamie Moore and Nigel Chavez, who kept the energy levels up, kept him positive. And he's made a good start to this contest. Ellison on the back foot, just looking for the 1-2. Fiaz just in that Philly shell stance, just pulls back out of range. Oof, just wobbled by a stiff jab there from Ellison. Just starts to turn through the shots. Fiaz just looking to catch and counter off the ropes. He was dropped by Daniel Alder in one of his early fights. Again, just a little bit square on the front foot. And that was the first time he'd been down in the ring or in sparring. He said, I didn't quite know what happened. He said, I was up and back to it. But he said it was a bit of a shock when it first happened. He said, but I'm glad it happened in the contest, because once you've been through that, so if it happens again, he said, you know how to deal with it. And he was just rocked back onto his heels then, but he's back on the front foot here. Ellison boxing with him. Lovely work from Fiaz, left hook, right uppercut through the middle.
Really kicked that right uppercut. Beautiful shot. Ellison's one of them tough guys in his game. Can really brace himself for these attacks, but when you can catch him is when it's the shots that you don't see coming. So it's nice sharp counters. Sure, Aqib will be looking for those.
Yeah, it's really been the better fighters, to pay you a compliment, Jordan, of course, that have managed to stop him. Guys like Gary Cully, Zelfa Barrett, young Adam Azim, who's looking every bit the up-and-coming talent too, really heavy-handed. Fiaz unlocked the puzzle, just really varying the wide and the narrow shots in that first round. But Ellison had a little moment of success too.
Ellison's a live dog. He won a Northern Area title at light welterweight last November against Terry Wilkinson.
Yeah, he's strung a couple of wins together. I think the Anthony Hornsby before that. And then the 10-rounder over Wilkinson, so we know he's fit. We know he can box. seen so many styles in a professional ring too. That stands you in very, very good stead.
Round 2.
Very experienced fighter.
Yeah, a young circuit fighter too at 26. Still very much in his prime too. Into the second we go. Ellison just pumping out that triple jab, misses with the 3. Fiaz just inching that front foot into range. Fiaz just fell over the front foot a little bit on the jab there, just got caught with the return. Nicole counter right hand from Fiaz, just turned his way back to centering after 2.
A few more feints from Fiaz before he shoots. Might stop him getting caught on the way in. He's got a lovely shape to him. Really good balance. When he throws with mean intent, and I think the fans will love to see it. It's going to be an exciting fighter. Got bags of time, only 22 years old as well.
He's just been hit by that jab down the middle 3 or 4 times.
He's very strong on the inside, and I think Ellison's really just trying to keep him on the end of that jab.
Yeah, he is. True to form, Fiaz just chopping away, shortening the shots up. Nigel Travis looking on in his corner alongside Jamie Moore. Travis, of course, runs the Moss Side Fire Station Boxing Club. They set up without official permission quite a few years ago. But the benefits of it to the community and the youth on the street have been more than obvious. We've got some brilliant young talent in that gym as well. Ellison shortening the shots up, trying to trade with Fiaz, but he wins the inside exchange, just rolls under the hooks as they come back to centre ring.
Just fell short of a lead right hook to the body there. Lucky enough, he was a bit too close to get countered off the back of it. But working his way in, really taking his time. It's good experience for him. 6th round with Jordan Ellison. Putting his shots together nice. Just takes a few there. Looking for that pull right hand.
12 months out of the ring, you're going to see that ring rust as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they've expected that these last couple of fights, the last 4 or 5 weeks. Steve Wood watching ringside as well. They're just trying to gently ease him back into things, knowing that he's not going to be at full sharpness probably for another few months yet. And we'll maybe see him in a slightly more meaningful contest towards the back end of this year. But he is just slowly but surely in front of our very eyes, shaking the rust off, going through the gears. Just lands a right hand on the bell there, apologises to the referees. He goes back to the corner with Jamie Moore, and let's listen into the corner.
Okay, you're getting your rhythm, you're getting timing better now, yeah? When you're finishing off that short stuff and you're finishing round here, he's doing exactly what we thought he was going to do, drifting off this way, yeah? As you reposition, he's going to push that jab. You've got to get your timing good on it, slip bung with that right over the top, yeah? You've got to do it in the right positioning. As he's come out here and he's drifts around, position yourself, sit and wait for it, time over the top, yeah? You're going to have to go through the gears in the last minute of the round now, yeah? There's a little bit edgy these rounds, you're just nicking them for me, but they're a little bit edgier, yeah? The timing, he's starting taking the sting out of him now. Don't miss that short jump, yeah? Okay? Big deep breath, good luck.
Second up, round 3.
Men of real experience in his corner. Kerry Kay's there too, in case of the cuts, just about as experienced as you want to have a corner team.
One of the nicest guys in boxing as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. The VIP gym in Ashley's Aqib Fiaz back to centre ring. 2 just close up for a moment. Ellison is playing his part in this contest too, trading with Fiaz up close, letting the hands go. Fiaz again just making sure the head's off centre line, changing his position, rips a right hand under the elbow. Just wonder if Jordan Ellison felt that, just immediately retreated to the next set of ropes, trying to give himself a little bit of space, back on the jab.
Fiaz doing a good job of cutting him off as he tries to skip round to the side. He'll always be looking for another couple of fights like this before they put him into title fights, but it'll be interesting to see where he fits into the domestic division. Got fighters like Liam Dillon fighting for the English title against Leivars Giles, who's a local lad. I think Dillon is 11-0 and Giles is 13-0, so the sort of opponents that Aqib will be looking at for the English title end of this year or early next year.
Yeah, just wants to get 3 or 4 more under his belt. And he's not a lights-out puncher, but as I mentioned, Frampton said no, he can definitely whack, and it's more a thudding puncher and wear you down with pressure. And if he's got a decent engine over the 10-round distance, and we'll of course find that out nearer the time, he's going to be a bit of a handful.
For sure. He's got good technique, he's got good speed, so those two things combined with the work rate that he has as well, it's going to be a troublesome thing for anyone to deal with.
Like Jordan said last round, I think just a few more feints and head movement on the way in, we'll probably see a lot more success.
Yeah, certainly been hit with a jab a few more times than perhaps Jamie Moore would have liked him to. That'll be probably a point of discussion, no doubt, when they review this. Slips and went to land the counter. Ellison kept the hands high and tight, but some of those are starting to get through.
See the head and the neck of Jordan Ellison start to redden up.
Lovely left hook counter there as Ellison let the hands go. Did the legs just stiffen a little bit? Uppercut through the middle. Just a little bounce from Ellison just to check his balance. Fiaz just shoulders him backwards, trying to get him static on those ropes. Ellison just fires an uppercut through the middle. Battle his way off the ropes here. Fiaz looking for openings. Left hook, uppercut the middle. Just rock the head back of Ellison, who fires back himself. Really good action as we close out the round here in Sheffield.
It's a great fight.
Yeah, Ellison's legs definitely not quite underneath him there. He's listening to the corner again of Aqib Fiaz. Yeah, it was that left hook there, just saw the legs stiffen and retreated to the ropes. Fiaz knew straight away, uppercut through the middle. Ellison hung on. And he fired back really well. Lifted the head up. Well, he did really well to stay on his feet there.
He's going to come and have a go this time. He's going to send him out. You know what I mean? So you've got to be sharp and shock him a bit. Stop him walking in. And then you'll get boxing. Come on.
Seconds out, round 4.
First breakthrough then for Aqib Fiaz as we head into the 4th round. How hurt is Jordan Ellison? How much recovery did he make in that last 60 seconds?
Really like the composure of Fiaz. Under fire, he looks so relaxed, nice and tight within himself, rocking and sliding. Lovely front foot pressure. Got a nice jab. That jab's lovely, he needs to pop that more. Works well in close. There's no one better to teach you how to have that front foot pressure and hook away to the body than Jamie Moore.
No, I'll never forget the Matthew Macklin fight, the greatest British title fight, light middleweight possibly in history. So much of it was fought on the inside as Fiaz again marauds forward. Ellison just trying to find an exit out the side door. Fiaz senses if he can just land something meaningful again, he can maybe get his man to unravel, and there's still plenty of time in this round and plenty of time in the fight to do so. And he's in seek and destroy mode now, just feints as you were asking for, Sky, just slips the jab. Just in the groove of his head movement now, dipping and rolling, seeing what's coming back at him, trying to manufacture opening, just giving the eyes to the body of Ellison, looking to set something up upstairs perhaps, as we saw with Joe Cordina and Kenichi Ogawa a few weeks ago in that magical night in Cardiff.
I think it was the perfect tune-up fight for him. Obviously 12 months out of the ring. You can see as the rounds go on, he's getting more and more comfortable in there. He's really finding his rhythm now.
Yeah, looks in the groove, doesn't he? And Ellison, certainly not a beaten man yet. He's firing back at will, but just a little bit of the ambition punched out of him in that last round. And I sense he's still trying to just get his senses back, get his legs fully underneath him, and I feel like he can maybe find a way back into this contest. That was nice, just blocks his way back to centre ring. And again, Fiaz just stalking him back into the corner. Just sliding out of range. That first jab, leans back with the second, looking to pull something on the counter.
Ellison still firing back, but finding himself on the ropes again.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he, this round, given where he was at the end of the last. Nice combination from Fiaz, and Ellison was just trying to hold him there as Fiaz stepped back. Just pulled him off balance as the 10-second clapper sounds. There is the end of the round.
Okay? Right. You're getting there, and you're waiting for him to punch. Yeah? Don't wait for him to punch. Get there, slow. That left uppercut is your safest shot. You're short, your hands are still tight, and you can drive it right out the middle there. Yeah? It'll discourage him from first of all fucking holding his feet and making on himself. And secondly, he's got no option then. He's getting hit first. You're going and holding your hands, you're holding your hands closed and encouraging him to punch. Okay? That last 30. You've got to hustle him, yeah? You've got them little ambush tactics, triggers. Have a little trigger, boom, turn that little feint down and turn that right over the top.
The trigger gets you there, so use the trigger to get there and then let your shots go.
Seconds out, round 5.
So penultimate round of the penultimate contest here on Before the Bell. Welcome to those of you joining us in the last 5 minutes or so. Aqib Fiaz and Jordan Ellison in the ring. Wins already for Kieran Conway, Junaid Bostan and Nico Leivars. The latter pair from the Steel City Gym, home of Dalton Smith, who will headline tonight live on DAZN against Sam and Mason for the £140 British title. Fiaz using those feints now, dropping the head into range, trying to tempt something out of Ellison. Looks for that right hand. Ellison just landed a little cleaner of the two. Fiaz bullish, physical. Uppercuts, left hooks, and then reversing them as well, just trying to find the wide and the narrow shots up the middle. Ellison's done well to recover from a slightly sticky third round.
Eased up a little bit in the last round. He's really going through the gears here now. 4 or 5 shots together at a time. Body and head. Like his work inside, he's either, working away or he's too close for Ellison to get anything off.
Yeah, smart fight. Using physical advantage.
Come on, work, Jordan, mate.
Yeah, and he's keeping tight here, isn't he? Starting to drift. Oh, but he is hurt there. His legs are gone. And Aqib Fiaz knows it too, and the crowd sense it. The head lifted up. Just a little stunned, glazed look in the eyes of Ellison for a moment.
Good feint from Aqib. Got to draw Ellison's lead. You can hit with a sharp counter. That's how you're going to stun him and then finish him off.
Bouts, come on, keep your boxing together.
Three-punch combination from Ellison to end the round, but he looked for a moment towards the end of that 3-minute period that he was just going to unravel, but he's got his legs back underneath him well. He's taken some digs here. That was the combination there. Just saw the legs looking a little unsteady. He fired back as he has done when he's been hurt in the previous rounds. Fiaz really was sitting down on those two, wasn't he?
Seconds out for your 6th and final round.
It's been a good performance from Aqib Fiaz, I think. Nice little touch. The mum on the waistband.
Yeah, she was his best friend and lived with her. Said she did everything for the family, and it's been an enormous loss, incomprehensible to him and his siblings too, and to lose his best friend in the fray as well. Unimaginable for most people at any age, especially someone as young as he is, and he's done brilliantly well to get back in the ring. She'd be very proud of him, and you're right, Sky, he did take a couple of rounds just to warm back into the contest, and he has started using those feints and getting that head off the line as the contest has gone on. We've seen the ring rust quite literally falling off him, and right here he's into 4th gear, putting the pressure on Jordan Ellison and capping off a good return performance on a Matchroom card. Steps across Ellison again, making that space small. Just a little mouse under the eye of Fiaz, just evidence of some of the good work that's come back throughout these last 6 rounds from Ellison, who's played his part, as he always does, to be fair to him. Very well schooled, well seasoned fighter, as you mentioned. There is ambition there. If he can win a fight, he will. Fiaz has been bullish, he's pressed the action, he's been on the front foot, made Ellison work. Right hand lands to the body again.
Jump, mate, jump! Go down. Turn it. Keep working, darling. Keep thinking, pal. Jump now! Make him stop in his tracks!
Ellison circling. Wearily popping a jab at himself. He knows something's going to come straight back. He still does it. That's the fight in him. Try picks out a little offcut inside. I think he's given a good account of himself today, but Aqib, very sharp, a level above.
Yeah, poised, looking for the opening. Fiaz as Ellison again just lands a jab, turns him, trying to keep him off balance, trying to keep him guessing. 28 seconds to go in this final round. Right hand lands by Fiaz, left to the body. Ellison just keeping that arm tucked down by his side.
Does a great job of being so close, but still making space to get his shots off inside. I think it's a good attribute.
There is a 10-second clapper. They both heard it, and they start to let the hands go. That one just strayed a little low there. It saw Jordan Ellison wince, but he knows that he's only got seconds to go. There is the final belt. Really good 6 rounds of action. And Aqib Fiaz, no doubt, on his way to a solid win on the card. There is his corner team, his friends. Kerry Kay's on the left, Nigel Chavez in the Baker boy in the background, Jamie Moore on the right. And well done to Jordan Ellison. Had to ride out a couple of sticky patches, the 3rd and the 5th round. And he did well, saw out the 6th in good style. And no doubt we'll be seeing him on a British card at some point in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Hearing that David Diamante has the scorecard, so let's hand over to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing here in Sheffield, we go to referee Howard Foster's scorecard. It reads 59-55 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Aqib Fiaz.
Well done, Aqib Fiaz. Tonight, about a little bit more than boxing for him, and he is back up and running on a Matchroom card. No doubt Jamie Moore and Nigel Chavez will be pleased with what they've seen from him tonight, and he'll be back out towards the end of this year. 4th fight here on Before the Bell, done and dusted. Ahead of a big night of action on our main broadcast live on DAZN a little bit later on. There is the team. So this is what's happened so far. Kieran Conway in that tune-up ahead of Amma Williams, 17th of September, was comfortable in victory. A late stoppage against Frenchman Gregory. Trenel. Junaid Bostan, one of Dalton Smith's stable mates at the Steel City Gym, but really impressive against Jose Clavero. Again, a stoppage for him. Nico, Leivars and Chavez were in a good little tussle before the heads clashed in round 2, and that led to a technical draw. And Aqib Fiaz, as you just saw, if you've been watching the last 5 minutes or so, victorious on points over Jordan Ellison. And to come, Hopey Price returns to action against Alexander Mejia. That's scheduled for 8 at featherweight. The end of that contest will take us through to the start of our live broadcast on DAZN. Campbell Hatton returns to action for his 8th contest against Mikhail Bufek. Jordan Thompson in a potentially really tough scrap against Czech Republic's Vasil Dutsar. Johnny Fisher in action for the first time since Alexandra Palace at the beginning of the year against Michael Reisinger. And Erica Farias and Sandy Ryan run things back after a close and hard-fought contest 150 days ago. Can Sandy Ryan get her revenge, or will it be repeat for the former 2-weight world champion? I don't think I need to tell you what's topping the bill. A brilliant domestic all-Sheffield clash for the British super lightweight title. Dalton Smith, a big fan favourite. Can he be the next fighter from the Steel City to pick up where the likes of Kell Brook, Kid Galahad, and of course the greats in Nassim Hamed left off in years gone by? Or can Sam O'Maison, heavy-handed O'Maison, but he is the underdog here, and he's spring the upset and become British champion? He's already the English champion 2 or 3 years ago. It would be a big upset if he could do it. And Dalton Smith, of course, having the hopes for the city on his shoulders, but as usual dealing with things in calm, cool and collected fashion ahead of the biggest night of his professional career.
Too quick. I would start speaking to my dad, and we've always said as soon as you turn professional, you've got 10-15 years in the game. You know, get in, achieve what you can, earn as much money as you can and get out. 3 years gone. You know, I'm like a quarter away through that. Got announced for the British title, headlining the Sheffield Arena. Oh, can't be any bigger for me now. You know, I'm big time now. I feel honoured. You know, you're walking in and you think, wow, I'm going to be headlining this place. It does give you a buzz though, doesn't it? You know, 2 local lads, you know, it makes sense. Sheffield Arena, it's going to be noisy on fight night.
And I think ring walk will probably be looking to come from the bottom of the client corridor.
Down this bit there, yeah?
Yeah, so I can show you down there if you
yeah,
want.
fine, yeah. From Sheffield, yeah.
Born and bred.
Born and bred. I've had dreams like I have since I was young. You know, coming here, seeing the big fight night. You know, I wanted to do that, and you know, I'm on the edge now, and I'm doing it. So, you know, I want to take it with both hands, and I want to put a big night on.
You thought about your ring option?
You know, Arctic Monkeys have been working, especially when I was in Leeds. You know, the crowd loved that one, so you know, I might have another Arctic song, same one. Might change it, we'll see.
Maybe they'll be bringing you out live one day, mate.
That's it, imagine. Yeah, definitely brings a buzz now, though.
How have you visualised the fight unfolding and yourself winning that British title?
One outcome, me lifting that Lonsdale belt above my head. If the stoppages come, the stoppages come. If it goes 12, it goes 12. I believe you're going to see Dalton Smith shine on August the 6th. That's what me and my dad got into the boxing for, you know, to achieve it together. And me being young, following Joe Calzaghe and his dad Enzo, you know, seeing what they achieved. And I used to watch all the documentaries on him and could see the resemblances. And You know, I remember speaking to Joe after the fight in Cardiff, and I said no one understands that feeling with that your father being in the corner, and he said he agreed with it, and he says unless you've been there you don't understand it. Actually being able to meet and talk to him, for someone I've looked up to for so long, it was good for me. That.
What helped you composure? How would you describe having your dad behind you all the time?
The trust, my dad's never going to rip me off. He's never going to want to try and get one over on me. So, that trust there, and it's just a different bond. But when you're winning fights, there's more than just winning a fight there.
Very proud as a father, which any father would be, coming out like that. And as a coach, it was his first fight. He was trying to impress his fans and the crowd, and he was trying a bit too hard. And then as the fight went on, he relaxed more, started getting to his boxing, started landing more combinations, and then that last round he started dropping his hands a little bit, relaxing, dropping his shoulders and enjoying it.
Yeah, me and Sam's known each other for a while now, and we know what each other's about. We've sparred before. He's got nothing to lose, has he? He's got everything to gain, and if he beats me, he's the top dog then. It's like Sam's world title fight. He's going to come with every ambition to beat me. That's what I like when I've got that in front of me, where I know someone's coming to win, and it's a big opportunity for them. That brings the best out of me. It's getting quite big for me now, and having the Sheffield Wednesday club behind me. I get massive support from them. Even from first turning professional, the club's always been behind me, supported me. I feel honoured to be representing them and flying the flag for Sheffield. Signing up, new signing. Feel honoured to do the kit reveal with them. I won't film any of my football skills, but as long as I'm in a kit, I'm fine. A couple of years, I want to pack that Hillsborough Stadium out, for a world title, defending a world title. As long as I keep on winning, that's my dream. I want to sell, Hillsborough Stadium out. I'm very confident. Lifting the British title is it's a big thing for me. It's something I've wanted to do for since I was a young boy. I believe this is a stepping stone for where I want to end my career. So lifting that British title above my head, it can't come quick enough.
Well, he's transitioned brilliantly from prospect to contender over these last couple of years, and there are big shoes to fill in Sheffield. Jordan, you're based here, of course. You know about the history of the city, the fighters that have been before. Does he look like the one for you that could take over the mantle as the city's fighting son?
I think so. He's not missed a beat yet, has he? He's looked absolutely fantastic from the beginning of his pro career to now. Even as an amateur, I was aware of him. I knew that he was Sheffield's most successful amateur of all time. And he's got every ability to go on to be the most successful pro of all time. Some big shoes to fill with Naz, Johnny Nelson, Ryan Rose, all those guys, but he's got it all to do.
Ryan Rhodes, of course, will be in the corner of his opponent, Sam Amazon, when we get to our main event a little bit later on. Sky, of course, you know Dalton through your management stable, STN Sports. Tell us a little bit what Dalton Smith's like as a person, because meeting him this week, you wouldn't know he was in the biggest fight of his life. He's cool as a cucumber, isn't he?
He is. He's very cool, calm and collected. Every fight week I've been around him, he's the same. A very down-to-earth guy, and very different to the brutality that we see in the ring. So, no, he's definitely a good standout, and I love being here to watch him.
John, we know the dangers with Sam Amazon, that kind of early English style, switch hitting, he can punch a little bit too. He's hurt most of the opponents he's been in with, but inactivity could be the undoing of him tonight, couldn't it?
Definitely, he's had a little bit of time out of the ring. He's not had the easy route. He's not, had a big promoter backing him from the start. And it could have been different if he had, but he's 30, is he 31 now, something like that, and he's not had an easy route to get here. So for me, it's good and bad looking from Dalton's perspective, because tonight he's going to take this opportunity with both hands, because this is his night. He's not going to get another opportunity like this. So, like you said, he does punch. He's a big puncher. I remember in the Ingle gym we used to do all the body sparring, mix around with heavyweights, lightweights, welterweights, and out of everybody, he was one of the biggest punchers, him and Lee Wood, and we know what Lee Wood's gone on to do, so he's got a big chance with that power.
We're hearing that big Johnny Fisher is arriving in the building. There he is. Shifted some tickets to Alexandra Palace, over 2,000. That's it, mate, out of the way. Over 2,000, and well, even though everyone's in holiday season and he's miles away from Essex, he's shifted about 800 or 900, his dad was telling me earlier on this afternoon, for what is only his 6th contest. A bit of a sensation, isn't he, really, Sky?
He is. He's exciting. He brings the crowd. He brings the energy, and he gets the job done every time. So no, I think he's developed great. He's doing amazing for someone who hasn't been in the sport long, and I'm excited to watch him again tonight.
Had a bit of a tough scrap with Gabriel in Graham with Jordan. He'd done some good rounds with some very good people, including 10 with Oscar Leivars. He said he learnt quite a lot in that fight, including having a broken hand injury and having to work through a couple of problems as well. Not a bad thing to experience, though, in front of the crowd at this stage of his career, is it?
100%. It's all experience under the belt, and I think that's going to stand him in a fantastic stead for tonight. Another test tonight, but I think he'll pass it with flying colours. I really like Johnny Fisher.
Yeah, he's in against Michael Reisinger from the Czech Republic. One of a couple of Czech fighters that are over this evening. Michael Dufek will be in with Campbell Hatton. Vasyl Dutsa will be in with Jordan Thompson. He's a real handful, as is Jordan Thompson. I think we'll find out how good he is tonight and whether he can get in that domestic cruiserweight mix. All to come on DAZN later on this evening. 7 o'clock it all starts. But right now, our final contest ready to rock and roll here on Before the Bell. Young Hopey Price and Alexander Mejia are backstage ready to go. Let's head to David.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, we're set to go with a special featherweight attraction. Set to make his ring walk, please welcome Alexander Mejia.
Alexander Mejia, 30 years old, from Nicaragua. He's a good fighter. Pushed Hiroshige Osawa to a majority decision just a year after he challenged Oscar Valdez for the WBO World Featherweight title. He boxed predominantly at 122 to 126 throughout the course of his career, and the last southpaw he boxed was a chap called Kevin Gonzalez, 25-0, bit of a banger from Mexico. That was the only man to stop him in his 21 fights, but he's a very different sort of southpaw to Hopey Price. He was short, compact, he had good timing, and he was caught by a very similar shot that Price has been landing on opponents in his last 3 or 4. He's dipping down to his right, stepped onto a long left hand, and that was early in the contest. And in the 7th, there was a hook that was put on the back of that left hand, very reminiscent of the one that Hopey Price landed in Leeds a couple of fights ago. Could be a danger punch for him, but his game, he's got a winning record, and he's beaten plenty of opponents with ambition as well. It's just the right time to step up the young Hopey Price from Nicaragua, Alexander Mejia.
And now set to make his ring walk, please welcome the undefeated Hopey Price. Live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, FCI Markets, and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Fleetwood, scoring A-star referee, Mr. Steve Gray. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the red trim. He scaled 8 stone, 12 pounds, 4 ounces. His professional record, 18 victories, 3 defeats. He has 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Managua, Nicaragua. Here's the former WBA Fedelatin and the reigning Nicaraguan super bantamweight champion, Alexander Mejia. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the blue trunks with the gold trim. He scaled 8 stone, 13 pounds, 4 ounces. His professional record, thus far perfect. 7 fights, 7 victories, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Leeds, here is the skilled young southpaw, Hopey Price.
Okay, for cold break, take 1 step back. Sidigo break, un paso atrás, okay? No punches on the back of the head. No golpes a la parte atrás de la cabeza, okay? Touch gloves, tuck and guantes. Good luck, lads.
Hopey Price is fast becoming one of the standout prospects in UK boxing. Super bantamweight from Leeds up at featherweight tonight. He's been making dramatic improvements under Dave Colwell's guidance these last 2.5 years.
Round 4.
First 4 fights we saw the finesse, the last 3 we started to see the spite and the power as well. He's one that people are rightly excited about. He's in against an experienced operator in Alexander Mejia, and he has got blink and you'll miss it speed and precision, and he has taken opponents out in the blink of an eye. Do not take your eyes off this one. Mejia just stepping on his front foot there, trying to get around the outside of him already, looking for that left hand on the counter is Price.
Using that jab as a measuring stick. He's already landed a big counter left hand. The speed of Hopey Price is going to be a big problem for some people, for everyone. He's been looking fantastic in the gym. He's up at 9 stone for this fight in an 8 rounder, coming off a bit of a back injury. But he's fully fit. He's been sparring great rounds in the gym. Looking like a superstar. I think Hopey is touted as one of the hottest prospects in Britain, but I'd say he's one of the top prospects in the world. You know, there's not many fighters that have done what he's done in the amateurs. National titles after national titles, countless Europeans, world championships, even won a gold in the Junior Olympics. Goes downstairs with backhand to the body.
Yeah, Mejia keeping those hands high and tight. He's clearly done his research. He knows the dangers, trying to bob from side to side as well, and he's trying to get his foot on the outside to get past those long levers of Price. Much easier said than done, and that left hand just touching him on the forehead for the first time. Stiff jab down the middle. Mejia responds straight away, but again just that jab breaking up his rhythm on the entry.
These Nicaraguans are notoriously tough. I think it's going to be a break him down mission for Hopey Price tonight.
Stiff left hand, rocked him back onto his heels.
The power of Hopey is really developing at the moment. You know, he's at that age where he's starting to fill out, become a man. You can start to see every little muscle in his body. He's been doing great work with Danny Wilson at Boxing Science. He's brought on Leivars as a nutritionist as well, and it's made, you know, the world of difference. They've done a great job with him. Dave Colwell has been working him hard every day in the gym, and he's seen the result of that tonight.
You can hear the thudding in his punches as well.
Oh, he can punch. He can punch.
He's very good at using that lead hand as a measuring stick.
Lovely left hand down the middle. There is a war of the front feet going on as well. Always evident from the TV sets at home when you're on the wide shot like you are there. But again, just looking for that left hand, keeping Mejia long, and looking to punish him for any mistakes on the way in. In the corner with Dave Colwell. Let's have a listen in.
Already now starts to trigger with that backhand and falling forward, right? It's important that you get your feet right, you don't swing, you don't have too far back and try to throw that too long. Don't forget the left hook that works on his chin. Right? Pick it rest. Yeah? when he's stepping back, when he comes in like that, bring up, but not wild where you lift your chin up so you can catch you in overhand shot when he comes in. You send the head out, exact same as what we did chin. But again, you can guess it. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? When you're going around there, that left hand's going there. Let's take the little step to the right hook. Right? Make sure you take the step so you're not leaning yourself forward. Right? Very good, very good.
We made comparisons with the young Luke Campbell, and it was exactly 10 years ago this week that he was bang in the middle of a sublime Olympic campaign at bantamweight, which culminated in 56 kilo gold, about 123 pounds, which is similar to what Price is weighing in here, and they are similar to look at, but in style as well. The advantage with Price, of course, is that he's just got time on his side. Campbell, I think, was 24 when he won the gold, nearly 26 by the time he turned over. He had a tough run at world titles, as Price no doubt will expect in the years to come, but Caldwell can build and mould him into exactly what he wants, and providing the test at the right time, knowing that they've got time on their side. He made a brilliant start to his career, just jabs and steps around to the right as he was instructed by Dave Caldwell in the break.
Taking his time, boxing lovely. If you look really closely, you can see Hopey starting to break a sweat.
He landed a nice left hand, just turned the head of Mejia there. And he does like to catch and counter Mejia, always be there for the return. For the most part, he's been out to range so far. He's just been catching the edges of arms and elbows on the return, just misses with the right hand to the body. So quick in and out, Price.
Trouble is, you look at Hopey and think, you know, he's just a tall southpaw, but he's not. He's got so many strings to his bow. And to get around that lead foot, his stance is so wide because of his height. But as soon as you get in, you're going to get peppered on the way in, and you're going to be countered on the way out. So
that is his money punch, that little lay back, sharp, lightning fast left hand down the middle. Mejia started to eat 2 or 3 of those. He's taken them well so far. Can he continue to take those clean for another 6 rounds? And speaking to Dave Caldwell, Jordan, you mentioned there just how much more there is to his game than what you see, and he said about the first time he took him to spar Kid Galahad, and we know how different he is in sparring to how he performs under the lights. He can be a real bully in the gym, and he said the first time was a bit of an education for Price. He said, but he came back with him just a couple of weeks later, and he said just how he'd levelled the scores and how quickly he learned to get up close and dirty, box on the inside, lever himself space, and how when the time comes where somebody can take his power, can get past those long levers, that he is such a competent fighter up close, and no doubt you will see this kind of thing day in, day out as well.
Definitely. As sharp as he is physically, he's very sharp mentally. And if he makes a mistake once, he's not going to make it again. And if you show him something new, he's going to pick it up. Like that sparring, I'll do one trick in sparring, he's going to do it straight back to me. Fantastic to have such sharp young fighters in the gym, helping me prepare for my big fights. And you know, you're going to see Hopey in those big fights soon.
Well, he did well to stay on his feet there, didn't he? Really turned through that left hand. Head went from right to left with some speed. Mejia, but he stood firm.
Hopey himself has had a tough year out of the ring. 2 of his best mates have, you know, tragically died in a car accident. I know he's dedicating this fight to them. It's got their names Willie and Lawrence on his fight kit, and it's a lovely touch. This performance is going to mean a lot to him, dedicating it to his friends.
Seconds out, round 3.
Into now round number 3 we go. If you just join us, Hopey Price in the blue and gold, Alexander Mejia the white and red. Price in full control through the first 2, starting to land that straight left hand. Already find his timing and range on it. Mejia, though, solid, tough is what Dave Caldwell wanted. Wanted to try and get in a few rounds tonight. Again, just chopping that left hand down. Stiff jab and then just straight arming him, holding that gap, giving himself the space to see what's coming back at him, to set his own work up as well, just sliding back out of range. He's kept the facets that made him such a brilliant amateur, but he's settled the feet down enough. He sits down on those shots and makes him a really good pro to watch too.
I think it's a pleasure to watch. Very rarely you see such a one-sided fight, so exciting. The skills are Hopey price.
He looks so comfortable under pressure too. He's very happy moving backwards and just picking those shots. I'd love to see a fight with him and Dennis McCann actually. I think that would make a really good all-British clash.
Definitely. I think Hopey's well up for all these domestic fights. He's in that position now where he wants to be pushing on the fight for British titles, British, Commonwealth, European titles. You know, he feels like he's ready to go now. I think he's ready to go now, and Dave's, you know, got him this 8-rounder tonight, but wants to push him to these title fights. I know there's plenty of super bantams in the mix, some great fighters. I think a Jack Batesman fight would make sense. All Leeds are fair. The Battle of Leeds, that'd be a great fight for the British title.
100%. I think Bostan is still the English champion, isn't it? If I'm not much mistaken. Obviously he would need a little more to entice him into a contest with someone like Hopey Price, because it's high risk and potentially low reward for somebody like Batesman. But you're right, if the British title was on the line, it could make sense for both, maybe in a year, 18 months' time. Mejia just trying to make the most of a rare period of inside fighting. Hasn't been able to get close, really. He's trying desperately to walk his man down.
It's a lovely sharp jab. Little pivot off into the centre of the ring.
We've seen you do that 100 times, haven't we? And there it is again, just slides across to his right-hand side off the jab. Turns through the 1-2. Feint with the feet just to buy himself that little bit of extra time, make Mejia fall forwards again and bring him onto the counter. Good work from Price. Under a little bit of pressure just for the first time in the contest. Mejia just trying to quicken his feet up, trying to give Price a little less time to think and to operate, but he dealt with it brilliantly. And there is Campbell Hatton, who's in potentially a really tricky test against Mikhail Dufek to open the show here on DAZN. Dufek's 34 and 23, but he's got a really good number of stoppages on his record, 22 of them in fact. And he is a handful himself. If Hatton is not on his game, he could be in trouble tonight. Speaking to his Uncle Matthew on the left of your shot there. Brilliant fighter himself. He was in action in the Sheffield Arena 10 years ago this year against Kell Brook. He said, I've seen more from him in this camp than any so far. He really has started to level up, and I expect to see that reflected in his performance tonight. That kicks off in just over half an hour's time, live on DAZN.
Second out, round 4.
So approaching the halfway point of the contest, and just the last 45 seconds of round number 3. Alexander Mejia just started to quicken the feet up a little bit, just trying to put the pressure on Price, and he's doing a decent job of it. At the same time, I think you'll agree, Sky, that the chance of him walking onto another one of those left hands and magnifying the impact of it probably goes up a little bit. And right on cue, there it is.
He's mastered that left hand moving backwards. I think if Mejia keeps putting the pressure on him like this, it'll be good for him for Hopey to kind of show that he's got that dog in him as well, and he can bite down and fight.
Certainly has, and well, a left hand landed there as he was walking into range. I think his legs just dipped for a moment. Don't know how hurt he is.
The big counter left hand. Oh, and again.
Now there it is again, and right on cue.
Beautiful. Oh, lovely body shot.
His industry is walking him into more trouble than it's getting him out of.
Really picking his shots nicely this time. Just nudging him off balance and landing downstairs. Countering upstairs.
the more aggressive Mejia becomes, I feel the more comfortable Hopey looks.
Yeah, it's going to play into his hands for sure.
The more danger he's going to walk into too. Just a little
touchdown there.
Right hook on the exit. It was off balance there, and Steve Gray says nothing doing, rightly so. And again, Price just inching back, wide base, set for the counter. Mejia takes another left hand, is starting to really mark up, redden around the face, and the marks of war showing themselves, those stiff left hands lasering in. Price really can't miss with them.
Nice little palm off to get back into the centre of the ring, just nullifying any work that Mejia does. Can't miss the back counter left.
Well, nothing wrong with his chin, Mejia. As we've seen plenty of opponents fall to these, as Price just controls the head with the lead hand, exits to his right hand side, gets himself back into space at centre ring. Oh, and again the right hand of Mejia just drifted low as he stepped into range, and Price chopping that left hand down again.
Lovely choice to go down to the body. All these small steps that Hopey's taking, making a big difference in this fight. Just keeping Mejia offset all the time, having to make him lunge in with these shots, allowing that counter to show. Lovely sharp jab. Really breaking him down now.
Yeah, Mejia right back onto his heels, just a moment where he paused, but there's the 10-second clap at the end of the round is night. Well, it's exhibition stuff from Hopey Price through the first half of this contest. Mejia right on the end of it in that round. He's listening to Dave Conway. We've got some replays from the previous round. Well, that was that left hand just chopping down.
You're bringing him up there, but you weren't wild with it, right? When you're going around this side and you're doing that, bring it up like you do on tap, right? Don't load, let it whip. Right?
10 seconds,
Right? Looking very, very good. Don't try too hard. But don't get nothing. Angle.
Seconds out, round 5.
Yeah, it says you're looking very good there. Don't try too hard. Good advice from Dave Colwell's. Hopey Price enters the 5th round in full control here in Sheffield. The last contest here on Before the Bell. Thanks for your company so far, those of you that have been with us from the beginning. Some really good action over the last couple of hours or so. Wins for Kieran, Conway, Junaid, Bostan, Nico, Leivars and Angel Chavez. A technical draw with a head clash early in the contest. Aqib Fiaz with his 9th professional win, and Hopey Price looking on his way, barring a disaster, to a really, really good victory here. Starting to pepper Alexander Mejia with the left hand and starting to hurt him as well the last couple of rounds.
Slotting that left hand right down the pipe. It's beautiful.
See there the strength, the physicality as he tried to clinch to turn him, put him into the corner and back himself back to centre ring. Stiff 1-2 again from Price. Well, the hallmark of elite fighters, as you both will know, is looking like you've got plenty of time and space, even when sometimes you actually haven't, and when your opponent's trying not to let you have it. Hopey Price has pretty much always looked like he's had time and space. I remember that early fight against Johnny Phillips at fight camp, and his MO, of course, was to pile on the pressure because he knew there was a level or two between the pair of them. But it's effortless, and that is a mark of real quality.
Definitely makes it look like he's got all the time in the world, and these guys are trying to rush him. He's just within himself, very comfortable. Sign of a great fighter. Can wax lyrical about Hopey Price, and it can be the most one-sided bias commentary of all time.
I was going to say, you promised bias commentary.
I did.
You've done pretty well. It's been a very one-sided fight, to be fair to you.
At the end of the day, a good product sells itself, and you have to. You only have to see, the class of Hopey Price tonight. Comes from a fighting family. He's got a lovely family backing him all the way. Both his brothers box. His younger brother Ellis has just got inducted into the GB program himself, and his youngest brother is actually called Morales, and he'll be due to have his first fight around September.
No doubt we'll be hearing those names in the future as well.
It's a family affair.
Certainly is, and Mejia now just trying to make it rough up close, but this is nothing that Price won't have seen in the gym time and time again. 18 seconds on the clock in round number 5.
Mejia looking a little bit desperate now, just trying to hit him on the back of the head a minute ago.
Just trying to frustrate and trying to do what he can at this stage to unsettle him, and also just to buy himself a bit of a breather. He's at long range, he's just on the end of some spiteful shots, but it's about the messiest that the fight's got so far through 5. Hopey Price still in full control.
No funciona, tienes que presionarlo con las manos arriba. Cómete un par de golpes y entras. Con huevos, con huevos. Oye, con huevos. Te vino a pelear aquí, no a pasear. Vamos, con huevos.
10 seconds, boys. Second out, round 6.
This is a great matchup for Hopey Price. Mejia's 18-3, solid record. You don't see many prospects. 22 years old, taking these sorts of risks. And it is a risk, but you know he's took it in stride. He's very comfortable. You always have a lot of questions with young fighters coming through the ranks. You know what they're like under pressure, can they punch, what they're like going the distance. But you know, having seen Hopey firsthand in the gym, you know all those questions for me are answered. He could do this for 20 rounds if he wants.
Yeah, just questions that need to be answered under the lights in front of the crowd. I guess next against significant domestic opposition that people know the names of, because not many people, with respect to Alexander Mejia, that can look at his record, they can watch a few clips on YouTube, that want to know much about this guy, that want to know he's a solid, seasoned operator, as they will know some of the domestic names a little further up the tree. And if he dispatches of them in good style, then we will have something to talk about in the next year or 18 months. And that will all be part of the process of education that he's going through now, as Mejia again just tries to close him down, let the hands go up close, but Steve Gray gets in and separates them. Jordan, as he starts to fill out and he starts to see the benefits of the S&C work that he's been doing at his kind of height, even though he's still a young man, is it likely that he'll stay at super bantamweight?
Do you know what? I don't think it will be, but every time I say, do you know what, next time you're going to go up to featherweight, every single time he just makes the weight so easy. You know, he's working with Leivars from Boxing Science alongside Danny Wilson from Boxing Science doing his strength conditioning. Dave's working hard in the gym. He's making his weight comfortably. He's absolutely huge for super bantam. I think, you know, in a year or two's time, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up to feather, and you know, maybe in 5 or 6 years time, I wouldn't even be surprised if he ends up at light welter. He's got the frame, he's got the size, he's got the strength to do it, and he's got the ability to achieve massive things in the sport.
I saw a transformation picture online of him today. Was that a year or something like that?
Yeah, I think Danny sent that to me as well on WhatsApp and said, have a look at the difference here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Those teenage hormones are kicking in. He's a little bit late, but
boy to man.
That's it. Lovely 3-punch combination. Sharp.
He just looks so comfortable.
He's rocked in there.
Mejia back onto his heels. Price knows he was hurt there. Here's the 10-second clapper. Just starts to really put some sauce on these shots. A couple of big left hands. Mejia keeps the hands high and tight, sees out another round. 2 to go here in Sheffield. Sandy Ryan will be our chief support Here at the Sheffield Arena, live on DAZN tonight, a rematch 150 days after the close defeat to former 2-8 world champion Erica Fiaz. There was plenty of spice between them this week, but interestingly, much as Fiaz tried to go to ring, Ryan, far less easy to take the bait than she was last time. That must tell us something about where she is mentally.
She seems very cool and composed. Fiaz is bang up for it, so I think we're in for a very good fight.
Yeah, she made that 140-pound limit. It was 144 last time, physically and mentally, completely different.
Second up, round 7.
How will she approach the rematch later on in Aqib support? Right now into the 7th round of 8 between Hopey Price and Alexander Mejia. Mejia just a little bit buzzed at the end of that last round. Has he been hurt here? Protest to Steve Gray. If Price manages to land something meaningful in the next 30 seconds to a minute, there'll be a lot of time in the round to get the job done.
Fantastic sharp shots to start the round. Mejia looked a little bit off balance, but these South American fighters tend to have that rock about them. You never know when they're hurt. A little bit like that. He looks a little bit off balance, but then sort of steadies himself. Touching and banging, varying that power up.
That's a nice right hand there, Mejia. Just watching the eyes of Steve Gray that were just trained on the Nicaraguan for a good 30 seconds there. As I mentioned, for those of you watching earlier, shared a car on the way here, and he said a big part of my job is anticipating the danger before it arrives for fighters. And he is looking closely again at Mejia, whose eyes are reddened, he's marked up, but he is holding firm here, trying to press forward, trying to press the action. He's miles behind on the cards, and he knows that only a Hail Mary punch could possibly change things for him at this stage of the contest. It looks unlikely. And the only way to do it is to try. As Price again just fizzes an uppercut off the hook through the middle. Mejia shakes the arms out, the first signs of that lactic fatigue. And a tough fight for him. Another left hand gets through.
Hopey doing a lovely job of getting around the sides of him. Out of trouble, off that line of fire. Mejia looks a little bit gun shy to throw now. Every time he has been early on, he's been countered.
Stop boxing! Stop boxing!
Lovely shots again. Lead left hand, followed by a left hook, right hook, sorry. Very mature performance from Hopey, I think. Really proud of him, what he's come through outside the ring. See, two best friends. And then he's had career worst injury at the start of the year. He's been out since February. Lands a lovely right hook.
Yeah, a lot to deal with indeed, but you wouldn't know he's been away at all. Watching him here, very accomplished performance so far through 7 rounds. Well, we've kind of been waiting for him to fall on the crack of one of these left hands, Alexander Mejia, but he's done really well, held fast so far, but it has been very fleeting moments of catching the odd single here and there, all Hopey Price through these 7, Jordan.
Oh, 100%. I don't think he's been hit hardly at all. Mejia, tough as they come, absolute granite chin, harder than a coffin nail. Good test for Hopey, but he's passed it with flying colours.
I can remember speaking to Dave Caldwell, Speed, 3 years or so ago now, when Tony Bellew hung them up for the last time, and he was in that transitional period rebuilding. You, of course, were in the gym. He didn't have Lerone Richards, he didn't have this young man, and he was scouting for talent, and would occasionally call and ask for opinions on fighters around the circuit. And he said, I just don't want to waste my time with anybody that I don't think has got the minerals for world level. I want to invest my time in fighters that I know have got the ability to go all the way. It doesn't matter what stage of their careers they're at. So I'm happy to take the journey from start to finish. And I always remember that time he mentioned Hopey Price in the gym and how excited he's been with the progress that he's made. And we're starting to see it here as he goes through the gears against Mejia, the Nicaraguan, off balance now. A little bit buzzed from a crisp combination from Price. And again now starting to quicken the feet up, land the leather. Such a tough man, Mejia presses forward again.
Really busted him up now. I think on the tape, Dave was looking at Mejia and he was thinking he was taller than he is. So he's been sparring taller fighters, Hopey. And when they come together at the presser the other day, I think it was a bit of a shock of how short he was, but we have to remember how tall Hopey is for a super bantam.
Yeah, it really is.
One thing about Dave Colwell is he's very pernickety, he's very precise, and like you said, he won't waste his time with anyone that he doesn't think is world class or could be world class. So you know, we've got a great vibe in the gym at the moment. He works us very hard. There's 4 of us. We've got Lerone Richards, IBO world champion, myself, European champion, Hopey, one of the hottest prospects in world boxing. We've also got Stephen Cairns as well, an Irish super featherweight.
He can punch a bit, can't he?
Oh, he's a fantastic puncher. I think you're going to see a lot of him in the near future. So looking forward to his journey. Handy thing for me, Hopey and Stephen as well, we're all around the same weight, so you know, we can help each other out, we can spar, we can use each other in those situations, and it benefits us all. Certainly keep me on my toes.
I bet it does. I bet it does. On a really good run at this for Hopey Price, a dominant display. He's barely lost a moment of any of the 8 rounds, but credit to Alexander Mejia, who looked on a number of occasions like the shot landed that might buckle him, but he stayed steadfast. He's kept pressing forwards. He's done what he can, which is frankly not very much.
I think Hopey's going to have himself a lovely highlights reel after this fight.
He certainly is, yeah. As he steps around him again, just holding the gap, looking for that counter. There it is. Again, just slides out to the right-hand side, trying to bait something in here from Mejia. And he's had a couple of opponents knocked down late in contest. Claudio Grande right on the bell of the 6th round at fight camp. Was dropped with a chopping left hand after, again, another dominant display. So you'll know that power carries rate late. And
it's a fantastic performance.
And there it is, all over. A brilliant 8 rounds for Hopey Price. Mejia lifts his hands aloft, I think in celebration of seeing out the 8 rounds, but he has been well and truly tenderised throughout the course of that contest. But credit to him for sticking in there, giving Hopey Price some rounds. He's barely out of breath.
He's barely broke a sweat. He's oozed class. I think if anything, it's a travesty that he's on before the bell, mate. He needs to be on the main card. So.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of fights tonight. We had to squeeze a few down that a lot of people would have liked to have seen, but luckily we're in an era where we can get these on YouTube. Plenty of people watching, plenty of people seeing what these young fighters are all about. He'll be further up the bill next time, I've no doubt at all, as Dave Colwell just goes through the finer details of what I think he'll be very happy overall as a performance. That caps off a really good, possibly the longest before the bell segment I think we've ever had. Wins for Kieran Conway ahead of his fight with Amber Williams, Junaid Bostan as well, Aqib Fiaz too, and we're about to get the readout of what I think are pretty inevitable scorecards for young Hopey Price. David Diamante is standing by.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing here in Sheffield, we go to referee Steve Gray's scorecard. It reads 80-72 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Hopey Price.
Yep, shutout win for Hopey Price, who moves to 8-0 in his first 18 months as a professional, the Leeds fighter. We'll hopefully see him on a meaningful card in a meaningful fight towards the end of this year. No doubt Eddie Holm will be very pleased with what he is seeing. Your dad looks very pleased there on the left of the screen, Jordan.
Didn't have too much work to do tonight.
No, he didn't. He can sit and relax and enjoy the rest of the show. And Dave Colwell looks very happy as well. His work for the evening is done, but there is plenty of action still to come live on DAZN on the hour. Starting off with Campbell Hatton in a potentially tough scrap against Mikhail Dufek. A lightweight contest over 6 rounds to kick us off. Jordan Thompson, we'll find out if he is the real deal against Vasyl Dutsar. He's had an 8-week camp ahead of this one. That's a cruiserweight contest, second on the bill. Then Big Johnny Fisher returns. He's done nearly 900 tickets for this one against Michael Reisinger. That's 6 rounds at heavyweight. And then Erica Farias and Sandy Ryan run things back 150 days after the former 2-weight world champion got the first win over the novice pro Sandy Ryan, who seems a completely different person ahead of this clash. Fascinating to see how that one plays out. And then it is the main event. British super lightweight title on the line. An all Sheffield affair for the Lonsdale belt between Dalton Smith and Sam Amazing, the former English champion. How will that play out? 12 rounds scheduled in our main event, live on DAZN from the Sheffield Arena. Well, thanks very much for your company, wherever you've been watching around the country or around the world. Chris Lloyd here with Jordan Gill and Sky Nicholson from Before the Bell. We will see you on the other side of 7 o'clock.
I'm going to be headlining this place, you know, I'm going to have it packed out and I'm excited for it. And I'm big time now.
A seminal night for the Sheffield fighter. He's one of the very best prospects in British boxing.
It's just about me progressing, you know, bringing big nights back to Sheffield.
His reactions and his payment looks impeccable. Wow. He is the UK's leading prospect. Aiming at a British title fight.
Everybody knows in British boxing the Lonsdale belt is a prestige belt. Everybody wants to win it. It's my time now and you know, it's my opportunity to win one of those belts.
Else, doesn't it? A left hook, so there is the right hand over the top. The uppercut is played there on Dalton, the right hand. Terrific variety and accuracy. Dalton Smith, you can see what the fuss is about.
You're going to see Dalton Smith shine on August the 6th. One outcome, me lifting that Lonsdale belt above my head.